This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so up to now we were just having that introduction session where we were trying to understand each other, right? Our each other's experience, what everyone is bringing to the table, right? And how we can learn from each other as well. So these are going to be my details, which you can note down or save this one, right? And as I can say, a lot of the candidate I already know in advance, so you will be having my contact details. Okay, so I'm just uh, going to give you this so you can take a screenshot or save this one, right? So this is going to be in this particular place. Okay, now apart from this, what we will be doing, we will try to understand that what is this AG 900 course is all about. Okay, and what we are going to learn in this case. Okay, so the formal introduction is actually done, and this is my detail. Take a screenshot, save it, and we will be creating a WhatsApp group, okay, during the break itself. So any one of you who is already having my number can create a group, and we can all connect at that particular place. Now apart from that, uh, okay, I think we've been joined by the with the NAS. I think it's Nasir, right?
Yeah, hello. I'm actually driving, so I'm gonna put you on silent.
Okay, 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 no problem.
I am listening. I'm just gonna put you on silent because I'm just doing some big shopping.
Okay, no problem, Nasir. Okay, reach to your drive safely, reach to your location.
No problem.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is one thing, everyone. So let me just take you back to that presentation, and we will try to understand that what we are going to learn in this particular scenario. So again, as I always start, that this is something that you must have seen with my old slides as well, that this will be all about your classing hours, building hours, or parking, internet access, all about this. So these things doesn't is not going to matter right now, because we are on the at our homes. We have this is all the web based session that what we are having, right? So class hours, I think everyone is familiar. So Indian Standard Time, it is 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. IST, right? Indian Standard Time. So it will be, you can adjust your clock according to that. Now during this one, I just want to clear in the upfront that around 8:30, means after around 1 hour 30 minutes, we will be having a small 5-minute break, right? So that everyone can refresh themselves up. Now after that, around 9:30, I'm going to take a lengthy break for around 20 minutes. That would be my actually my dinner time. So I will be taking that much of the time at that point, and then again we will be resuming. So very hardly you will be seeing that at any day I'm leaving you early from this time. Okay, almost I will try to consume all the 4 hours, so I'm just saying that I'm sorry for that in advance. Now this will be about the class and our pattern through by which we will be going. Now when we talk about the Azure security engineers, so as we can see, we are having different people who have followed different path. So when we are talking about the path, so very basic course in here is AZ 900, which is talking about the fundamental. Now after this, there are two paths, like one is taking you to the 104, which is administration part. Another is your 500, which is Azure security engineer. Now when we are talking about the both path, these are the intermediate level of the certification. Now either you can go from the AZ to 104, and then you can come to the your 500, which will be giving you the whole experience of the how administration is working, and then you can deploy the security, right? So this is the one part that you can take, or you can just if you are just interested in the security part and you are willing to learn few things by yourself, you can jump into the 500 as well. So here, as I can see, few of the candidates who has taken the previous session with me, they have already completed 900 and 104, and now you will be just going with the 500. And for the candidate who is joining us on the 500 part, okay, so don't worry if you are not having bit of the experience in the 104 session. I will be trying to give you the insight there. And still, in this course you will be seeing few things are repeating themselves. Like in the platform protection, you will be seeing that application security, application gateway is there. There is going to be your VPNs, right? How to deal with the VPNs. There is going to be your firewall, user defined routes. Okay, there is going to be your jump box, your Azure Bastion, subnet. Okay, all these things we are again going to revisit, even on the Active Directory part, that how to create a user role, a dynamic group. All those kind of things will be kind of repeating one more time, right? So this is one thing that is there. Okay, and okay, just okay, so okay, right. So this is one thing. This is the path that what we are actually, you guys have taken. So now when we talk about the security engineer, so a security engineer can implement a security control, maintain the organization security posture, and manage the identity and access, and protect data, application, and the network. Now with that, he can also identify and remediate vulnerability by using a variety of security tool, implementing threat protection, and respond to a security incident escalation. And what he should be able to do, he should be understanding the hybrid environment, and provide a security or provide a solution and management. Okay, security solution and management for end-to-end infrastructure for your from your on-premise to your cloud as well. Okay, and he should be having a bit of should be familiar with the scripting and the automation, and deep understanding of the networking and the virtualization. So I am hoping everyone here is understanding networking and virtualization. So we will be talking about the security engineers or security concepts over here. Now there are some prerequisites they will be talking about, that what you need to understand. You need to understand the IPsec, what is the SSL, what are the VPNs, internet security, these kind of things you should be understanding. And with that, you should be having the understanding of the role-based access control, multi-factor authentication, shared responsibility, zero trust model, right? And what are the because these are some of the best, I will say, security practice in the industry. Like we always talk about the defense in depth. And I remember very specifically in the AZ 900 course, I always talk about, in the unit number 4, we talk about the defense in depth, right? Now, some you should be having some of the idea regarding the Azure workload, right? Because it is not covering the basic Azure administration, although some concept, I will say not only some concept, like the monitor is also here, RBAC is also here. So around, you will say, you can easily say around 30 to 40% of that course is here, right? But still it is not deep diving into the administration part, right? Either it will be this course content will be building on that knowledge by adding specific information onto that particular thing, right? So having the experience with the Windows and Linux operating system will always be a handful here, right? Now this thing is actually old. Okay, as you can see, July 2020, and yes, I'm having the old slides because they haven't updated it yet, and they are saying that they will be updating these slides on the end of the July or the by August. So release date for them is around August, right? Even I was checking this. So again, there was a few changes again on the 2nd of June, and those were not a big of your changes, just changing the name and the mistakes that they have rectified over the time. The weightage has actually been changed. So when I did this AZ 500 as well, so this was the kind of the pattern and the weightage over here. So there are going to be very specific 4 domains, 4 modules that you will be learning. First is managing identity and access. Second, implementing the platform protection. Third, manage security operation. And then we will be learning about securing the data and the application part, right? So these are going to be your some of the these are going to be your uh, modules that we are going to cover. Now thing is, these weightages, they have been actually changed, right? So as you can see, the platform protection is quite heavily focused in past. Now it's not. It's down to 10 to 15%. Okay, and your identity and access management, it has increased up to the 30 to 35%. So prior to this update, we were focusing on the platform security more for the AZ500 certification. Okay, although from the point perspective, from the knowledge perspective, all these four concepts are equally important, but from the exam perspective, weightage has been changed here. So if I just take you to the new weightage, so AZ500, AZ500. Okay, now if you will notice over this point that managing the identity and access is having weightage of 30 to 35% now, and implementing platform protection is now reduced to 15 to 20%, which is the lowest, right? So what they have done, they have shifted this platform part mostly to the your AZ administration 104, right? So they are trying to create a pattern that more people they go from the 500 to 104 to the 900 to 104, then to 500. Although in their specific path you will be seeing that they are saying that you can choose any one of them after 900. Okay, now managing security operation, where we'll be talking about the monitor, Azure Sentinel, Azure security centers. So this is again your 25 to 30%. And secure data and application, where we'll be talking about how to encrypt the SQL database, and how you are enabling the authentication using key and all with the your storage account, and we'll be learning about the key vault. So that data and application part is 20 to 25%. Security operation is 25 to 30%. So you can see that quite a drastic change that is going on here, right? So this is according to the latest pattern, the weightage of the security operation has been increased to your 25 to 30%. Okay, and this is to from the 20 to 25%, right? So as you can see, percentage indicate the relative weight of each area on the exam. Okay, and when we are talking about from the knowledge perspective, each and every one is quite important, okay, on the same level. And the same thing, the higher the percentage, the more question you are likely to see in that area, right? So this is something that has been there. Now apart from this, this is the role-based infrastructure certification. This is the path that is being suggested by the Microsoft, that is starting with the AZ 900 itself. Okay, Azure fundamental, then moving on to the Azure security engineer associate, which is your 500. Okay, and then jumping into the your Azure solution architect expert, which is your 303 plus 304, two exams, right? So this is the your rule based certification that you can pursue over here, right? So this is the very basic thing that is in your regarding your curriculum, that this is the curriculum that what we are having now. Before we jump into and start learning the different things, so how it is completely different from your traditional security and all the very basic things, let's just talk about those things as well, right? Now first thing is, every one of us most of us are working with the security field. So I think everyone is familiar with the terminologies like identity and access management, IAM. Everyone heard about the active directory, right? And everyone is familiar with the concept that as cyber in the cyber security, or for the security, we have three basic pillars: CIA, right? Which is your confidentiality, integrity, and availability, right? So what is confidentiality? Anyone? Simple. Okay, no one? Come on guys, I think everyone is familiar with the CIA.
Maintenance. Maintaining the secret and privacy of the data.
That's right. Okay, maintain the secrecy of that data, right? Like, very simple thing. If there are two parties involved, okay, let's just say for example Akhil is sending a message to Anas. Okay, so only those two parties should be, so whatever Akhil is sending to the Anas, so only both of them can understand that particular data. That data is secret means only the authenticated party should be able to see that particular data, right? Not anyone, not everyone, around the world. So if Akhil is sending some sensitive message to the Anas, so only both of them should be able to see that data. And to achieve the confidentiality, we generally go with the concept of the encryption. A very simple example, right? Akhil is encrypting that message and sending it to the Anas, because Anas is another trusted party, so Anas is also going to be able to see that particular message, right? And he would be able to decrypt it and read that message. Now, apart from that, uh, next would be your integrity. So what is integrity? Okay, simply integrity is if, for example, Davar is sending a message to the Kashi and Davar is sending hello Kashi, right? So integrity of the message is because those are the two parties, no one should be tampering with the data in between, right? So if Davar has sent hello Kashi, so that message should be received as the hello Kashi. No one should be tampering with the data in between and changing it to the like bye Kashi, I don't want to talk to you, right? Something like that. That will be integrity, and you will be maintaining it with the help of the hashing, right? Then there goes your availability, right? That if all the four person that I took, like Akil, Anas, Davar, Kashi, they are part of a system. They are a authorized user, and they want to access any of the if they want to access any of the data which should be available for them, for an authorized user, the data of file that should be available. Okay, it should be available all the time. It shouldn't be the case that they are trying to access that file and server is down, system is down. So those things should not be happening. So you try to make sure that availability is always there, right? Availability is always the part, right? No server is down and that kind of scenario. So that will be availability. Now there are few more things which play important role in the security. In general security we are talking about. Now I am not talking about only the Azure security. I'm talking about the general security. So there is your authentication. So authentication is a process through which you will be verifying a particular user that this is a genuine user. Then there is the authorization, that what he is allowed to do. So authentication is like, you are going to your office, you are having that your ID card, RFID enabled ID card, which you put on the door, and that door open for you and you enter inside your organization. So when you put that card, that was your authentication, that yes, you are the employee in this particular building and you should enter this building. Now once you enter the building, then there comes the authorization, that what you should be accessing, right? You can't just go ahead and sit on the system of your CEO, CTO and start working unless you are the CEO and CTOs, right? So what permission you have, right? Do you have permission to access file A? If yes, you should be doing that. If no, you shouldn't be doing that. So that would be your authorization. Then there is going to be your non-repudiation. Non-repudiation is simply enabled with the help of your asymmetric key cryptography. That means your digital signature. That means if you are sending any data later down the line, you can't repudiate it. So repudiation means your, for example, I have Naz has sent a message to Pranay, right? So what happened? Later Naz is refusing that no, I was not the one who sent the message to Pranay, right? So in that case, what he's doing, he's repudiating it. So with the help of your digital signature, we make sure that the sender is the one who he is claiming to be. So once Naz will be sending a message to the Pranay, and he digitally signed that particular message. So that will be proving that sender is the one who sent the message, right? Later down the line, Naz cannot refuse that he wasn't the one, because it is signed with it is going to be signed with Naz private key, right? So these are the few basic concepts in security which we try to follow. So in the Azure security, what you will be learning about the maintaining the authentication, okay, creating the user, giving them the different authorization, giving them the rules, okay, access control, and all those things we will be learning here. And for the protection of the keys, your digital certificate, what we will be learning the your things like key vaults, right? How to store the keys over there, how to use those particular key, how to generate a secret, your password, how to store those passwords securely over there. So all that will be the part of this particular thing. Okay, this is the one thing that what we are going to have, right? So now what we are going to do is, this is the very basic thing. Now in the security part, if you are working with the cloud, how many of you have heard about the CASB? CASB, heard about this? So what is your CASB? Okay, and CASB, concept of the CASB will be helping us to understand that what are the challenges in the cloud security and what we need to overcome. So anyone who can tell me what is a CASB?
Hey Rishabh, are you able to hear me? Hello.
Yes, Vinay, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
So I think that CASB is a kind of edge tool
Mhm.
where you are configuring it to. It works as a integrated tool. It works. It has different capabilities. It even can support like DLP capabilities. But primarily, it's used to actually extend your on-premise policy security policies to a third-party cloud. So if you want the third-party cloud to be sort of like follow your security policies, which you are implementing on-prem, you can force it through CASB.
Right, that's right. Yes, that's absolutely right. I can say that. Right. So what is happening on this particular scenario is, I'm dropping this. I was just dropping one link for one of the candidate. Okay. Now CASB. So what happened is, we were so familiar with our on-premise, right? So before the rise of the your on-premise, what was happening is, still, as I was saying, that few of you guys are familiar with the like, I think Anas is the one who is very good with the network security, right? He has done the few of the courses of the network. He's good with the network. So what has happened within our traditional technology was that we were having the different on on our on-prem, if this is my on-premise, right? And I was having a lot of different solutions over there. So I was having the solutions like, I was having the firewall, I was having your web proxies, okay, I was having your IDS, I was having your IPS solutions, okay, then I was having your DLP, as when I was saying that we were having the DLPs and all. So apart from this, we also were having the VPN gateways. So these were the few of the security solutions that what we were having on your on-premise, and they were providing the security, enabling the security for our whole complete solution. So whenever I need to just secure anything, I was pretty comfortable that there is firewall, there is web proxy, there is IDS, IPS, there was DLP and VPN, and these things what they were doing, they were giving us the few of the basic things which we focus on the security. They were giving us the visibility that what is going on, right? Who is accessing what, right? I was having the logs from the firewall, okay. in the W3C format. Okay, yeah, I was having the W3C servers. I'm collecting all the logs at the one place. They were giving me the visibility, right? And I was talking about the logging as well. I was having the logs that what is happening throughout there. I can see that what actions are being taken, what is being logged, and all that controls kind of thing. Apart from that, there was having your there was your access control, that what I was getting my on-premise, that who can access this, who cannot. With that, there was the already the data loss prevention, which was just simply saying that which data can leave my system, which data can leave my network. So I was not worried about that as well. And apart from that, there was quite going your threat protection. Okay, so these things were with native in the your on-prem. So if I will be asking you guys that you have to deploy, okay, ask whoever is working with the our on-premise security, right? On-premise security and all those kind of things. Okay, on-premise production, network designing, architect. So you guys will be familiar that all these things were helping us from the security perspective as well. That we can deploy these things, and these things will be providing us the visibility, logging, access controls, DLP, and the threat protection. Everything I can implement on the on-premise. Now, when this complete cloud thing it emerges, right? It emerges in the market. So with that, what is start happening is our solution or our resources, services, they start deploying over the cloud itself. Okay, so let me just draw some clouds over here. And what we were having, you know we were having the your AWS, we were having the G Suite. Okay, we were having the AWS was there. Now apart from AWS, Azure is the second most you know famous one. So that was there. There was your G Suite, right? There was your Salesforce, 365. There was your 365. There was your Salesforce. All these things we start implementing, right? So that means lot of our work has been shifted over to the your cloud. So in the particular organization, what was happening, if I'm having a particular managed device, right? I'm having a particular managed device, so I will be having the complete rules, set of policies, which will be followed by this particular device. That you know, if it want to access it, it has to connect through the VPN. It will be all the traffic will be passing through the firewall, forwarded through the web proxies. Okay, there is going to be the IDS, IPS, which will be preventing the thing. Data loss prevention is also in place. Everything was in the particular scenario. Now with the rise of your cloud, again we were having the managed devices, right? So this is again my managed device. I am writing it as the MD. Now what is happening, this is directly connecting with the cloud. So there is no kind of your security in between. In first hand scenario that I am seeing, that that I'm just typing the username and password and directly connect to the cloud. Now, when we are talking about the attacker, so if there is an attacker and this attacker has to attack on the on-prem, so he has to go through all these security solutions, right? Now, with the usability of my cloud, attacker, he just going to need some of the username and password, and he will be directly connected to the cloud. So this started way back. So I'm just talking in the when there was the 2015-16. So it was something that was a kind of challenge. So this challenge was actually solved with the help of the Caspi. Okay, and this was not only the challenge. So what were the other challenges? Like if I am allowing this managed device to go ahead and access your G Suite or 365, right? So what if this particular user, he wants to use the personal 365, okay, personal 365, or this user, he just want to access a personal Salesforce or G Suite, whatever, right? So if I because what I'm having some sanctioned applications on the particular managed device. So these sanctioned applications, they are having your I'm allowing a G Suite or 365. So again, if I am allowing this kind of thing, and actually this, if you guys are familiar with the security courses, This is kind of the challenge with the cloud. So what was the challenge? That if I'm allowing the 365 or something like this, if my attacker, he got access of the cloud, and because what I have done, I have allowed, even if you are on the hybrid scenario, and I have allowed that you can just go ahead and uh, you know you can just go ahead and connect, or enable the personal or G Suite or 365. So he can use them for the data exfiltration. And with that, there was the problem of your, okay, this is the database. It looked like the database. So let me just change it. This is the managed device and some of the unmanaged unmanaged devices. Now, as I know, I just need to enter just the username and password. So rather than using it on my managed devices, I can use my personal device as well to connect to the cloud, right? So again, this was the same problem that what we were seeing. And using these managed device, anyone can access these personal instances of the G Suite or 365. And attacker also, for the attacker as well, he also will be needing the just the simply the username and password, and simply he will be connected to the your particular cloud. And now, because you have enabled the personal G Suite 365, so what is going to happen is that attacker will be using own personal 365 or Office 365 or G Suite to exfiltrate the data, right? Let's just say that you enable the Dropbox, and that attacker has account on the Dropbox. So directly start exfiltrating the data from there to the Dropbox. So that means again, so we were requiring some of the DLP solution, IDS, access control. Okay, all these kind of things I want to implement, right? So this was the challenge with your complete cloud emergence. So around 2017-18, these CASB product, they gain a lot of popularity, and from that particular point we start using them. So they can help you to enable all these visibility, logging, access control, DLP. Like when I was saying, if you want to enable the your solutions, a security solution, you want that your cloud solution, cloud resources, they follow a particular properties. You want to enable the proper access control, DLP, visibilities, logging. So you can use those third party CASB tools as well. Okay, and in the present scenario, lot of the big vendors are playing into the same area, right? So with the help of CASB, we are trying to find the solution. We are trying to implement some policies, similar policies on your on-premise and your cloud as well. We are trying to implement the access control, DLP, enable the threat protection, and all those kind of things. So with the emergence of these particular your what I would say, you know uh, CASB resources, that we were quite worried about the CASB resources, that what is going to happen, okay, how we are going to implement these things. So your cloud service provider like AWS and your Azure, they also start thinking about the same thing, right? That rather than people, they are shifting towards the different solution, try to give them few of the solutions on the your cloud itself. So nowadays we can manage devices, okay, with the Azure. What we can do, or AWS, you can now manage device, that what should be a managed device. You can register the specific application, that what application should be having permission on your particular resources, and what are unable to access your resources. We are having the threat protection, okay. We are having the proper IAM now as a solution, okay, and we are having the a lot of other things, okay, not the complete DLP solution, but again you have the third party option to enable the CASB products. Like okay, have you heard about the any particular specific vendor? Can you give me some name?
I think Symantec is one used to be
Yep,
having a CASB.
yep, that's right. Semantic is one of the very popular one, right? So we are having the Symantec, okay, for one. Okay, apart from this, Okay, and this semantic, if you remember, actually they acquired the blue coat. Blue coat was the one of the old one, and they acquired that blue coat, that semantic, right? Okay. Apart from this, there was the Sky High network. Heard about that? The Sky High network, and this Sky High network, it was acquired by your McAfee. Okay, so it was acquired by your McAfee. So this was the another solution, very popular with the McAfee. They provide this now. Okay, even we are having the force point, and I think this is the most commonly used one, right? Force point. Okay, now we are having the Cisco Cloud Lock. Heard about that? Cisco Cloud Lock. Okay, now apart from this, there is Microsoft Cloud App Security, normal, right? So which we will be not the specific one on the 365, but yes, there are some of these things that are available in the market, which will be helping you to implement these functions, right? Even so, what happened is around 2018. Since that time, these particular platforms, they also start working and thinking on the same thing and start developing their own solution, like the threat protection, defenders, and all that kind of things will be provided to us as well as a solution, right? So that we can perform same thing within the Azure security as well. All right, this is the one thing that that this was the challenge, this was the problem with the your cloud, right? That you means my data, all my data is being stored beyond my on-premise, like beyond my campus, and all of these security tech which I was having, they are now out of path, right? I'm just requiring some username and password to download the complete data. With that, uh, if I'm sanctioning any specific app, they are just going ahead, and private instance of them can also be run, and data could be easily uh, exfiltrate, right? So those were the challenges, and we try to solve these challenges with the help of the your CSB product, CASB products, cloud access security broker. So this is the very traditional security thing, although this CASB is not going to be the part of your exam, right? But we are just trying to understand that what are the challenges that are there. Now apart from this, and I am right now just talking from the your pure security perspective things, like we do the pen testing, vulnerability analysis, VAPT, those kind of things. So again, in the security center, we will be seeing for the VMs, I can again on the containers, I can run the vulnerability scan, right? Okay, so we will be seeing that as well, but that's only on the infra as a service mostly that you can do, right? So oh yes, you can implement the third party CASB as well. Okay, Vinay, like the semantic you can go with, or anyone. So, but that is not the part of this complete syllabus, and neither it is going to come over here. But yes, you can implement the third party CASB as well. So this will provide you the flexibility. Azure provide you the flexibility over here. Now apart from this, in the traditional security manner, if I will be talking about few tools, okay, cloud infrastructure assessment tools. So have you heard about the Scout suite? Anyone? Cloud assessment suites. So first of them is Scout suite. If you have heard about this one, this is actually an open source tool which is written in the Python, and it used to audit the instances, policies created on the different multiple cloud platforms, right? Including your AWS. Okay, it work with the AWS, and it also work with your what we have the name. Okay, GCP, yes. Okay, GCP, and with the Azure as well. So it work with the Azure as well, right? what it generally do, it collect the data from the using the API calls, and it compiles a report of all the object discovered, like VM instance, storage, container, IAM account, data firewall, access control list, and all the things that it can gather from the API calls. And that what it can do, it can categorize each object with a security level, right? Okay, so whether it is that particular thing is violating any particular policy, right? Like unauthenticated access to your S3 bucket or then storage account. So it will be just checking your security posture, that how it is working, assessing that complete security posture. So this is one Scout suite which you can use. Now apart from this, we are having another tool with the name your Prowler. Okay, yeah, we are having the Prowler, and it is the specific auditing tool for the AWS only, and it can use to evaluate your cloud infrastructure against the it is only for the AWS, and it will be checking against the your CIS benchmark, right? Against the CIS benchmark for the AWS. Okay, additionally it can check for the GDPR compliance. Okay, it can check for the HIPAA as well, that whether or not you are following these compliances, because if you are following them, automatically there is going to be a lot of security which will be enabled for you. And we will be seeing this in the policy section, where you will be seeing that you can enable these kind of thing, right? These policy based on the CIS as GDPR, HIPAA, all this kind of thing. Apart from this, there is another tool which is your PACU, PACU, right? So this is designed for as the exploitation framework to test the security configuration in the AWS account. Okay, this is again specific to the AWS account. So what it do, it try to exploit things by obtaining the API keys or gaining the access of the VM instance, and to do the credential testing, like using the brute force to bypass the credential of any VM instance, right? To and gather the information about your particular account and all that kind of thing, creating a word list, attacking on it, attacking on your VM instance. So you can use the PACU for that particular thing, right? So these are the cloud assessment tools which we have. Now this is all thing that I was talking from the point perspective of the general security, right? So if you have any at any point, like I know that many of you guys have done the CISSP and all these things. So have you guys heard about these kind of thing? Right? I think Vinay is very well versed. So anyone else? Cloud assessment suites or tool you guys are familiar? Okay. So I always going to assess the silence according to my needs. So I am saying that maybe you guys were not aware about this thing, else you will be letting you know. So thing here is, when I'm talking from the point perspective of this AZ500 course, now I'm not going to learn these things, like neither about these tools, neither about the CASB, that what are the CASB. So what we will be focusing from the Azure 500 perspective, we are having one limitation, and that limitation is of your Microsoft Azure. So here we will be learning that what Azure has suggested us, what Azure is suggesting us to improve the security, right? What is their suggestion, right? That use this thing to improve the security, to improve the availability, use the scale set, use the availability set, right? So what Microsoft Azure is suggesting, how you can improve your security, that all thing we are going to learn, and we will be limited by the this particular perspective. So if you are in this course and try to understand the cloud security concepts, so here we are going to be limited by the foundation of your Azure security. What they are suggesting is the best practice, how you are going to implement the identity and access management, how you are going to implement the any other different things over there. So that is going to be the part of this complete Azure security here. Now as we were discussing, that there was your different scenarios now of the 4 different identity and access management, platform protection, security operation, and the data and the application part. So what we are going to do, guys, guys, that I'm going to start with the bit of the identity part. I'm not going to cover it right now, the complete thing. We will be starting with the identity and access management. Okay, so here I am going to talk about the RBAC. Okay, rule-based access control. What is the subscription active directory? As I can see, few of you guys are from the just coming after the AZ900, right? So that you can understand. So we'll be talking about what are the roles, what is the subscription base, your permissions and rules and all those kind of things, right? Very basic thing. What is Azure Active Directory? Okay, and I think you can easily map it with the Active Directory of your on-premise and all that kind of thing. Okay, what are the different roles that is important for you understand? Okay, once all of you will be understanding that thing, after that the second task for us will be, I'm going to stop there or pause this thing over there, right, for this identity and access part, and rest of the part like PIM, privilege identity management, conditional access, right, conditional access review and access reviews, all this will be covered later down the line or towards the very last session of the your AZ500. Why? So that this concept remain fresh in your mind, and up to that point you will be already dealing with all the resources, and you can easily cooperate the things, right? You can easily correlate the thing that what we are talking about in terms of the your privilege identity management and all that kind of things, we will be easily understanding. Also, in the identity and access management, there is going to be few more topics like in the identity and access management, there is going to be the topics like policy, your logs, there is going to be your blueprint. What are the blueprint? So all this I will be covering with your security operation. Okay, security operations. And why? Because there we will be talking about the monitor part, how to monitor it. We will be talking about the security center there. We will be talking about your sentinel. So this kind of thing will be making this policy blueprint, they will be making more sense over there. So we will be covering that part over there. Okay, few things like application registration is one of the things. So how to do that? So because I want you guys to learn hands-on, so when we will be on the storage part, so there you will be learning a lot of things like although I'll be going through the concept of the firewall quite early, but enabling the firewall for very specific storage account or for a SQL server. Okay, that thing we will be learning later down the line, like what is the private link, private endpoint and the service endpoints, what are these things. So again, so these things we'll be seeing over there with the hands-on, right, where they will be making more sense with, and they we will be having a complete flow. So we will be learning those things over there as well, with the key vault and all. So you will be seeing the same thing in the your book as well. Like there is the one thing in the platform protection. Okay, that is your, okay, I'll be coming to this because this we need to discuss about bit in depth. So when we are talking about the platform protection, in there is one concept like Azure disk encryption. So I would like to cover it with the keyword, because that is the concept of the encryption where we'll be using the key, and it will be much better if I can show you that thing with the bit of the hands-on of at the particular time. So how to enable the disk encryption and all. Okay, either there or in the storage part specifically, because storage is going to contain your key vault, your storage account, concept of a storage account, and your database, right? So how to enable SQL server auditing and all that kind of thing. So those things will be covered there at that particular point. Now at this point we'll be learning those things. So this will be going forward. So today we are going to start with the RBAC, okay, which is I think lab module number 4 today. So we will be starting with that thing. okay, so that it will be making more sense that what is going on in your cloud environment. So I have divided it so that this can make more sense. Even that is the suggested path by the Microsoft as well, that you should be starting with the role-based access control and the lab number 4 for the very first day. That is in the official curriculum, right? Then in the platform protection, after this you understand this thing, what are the rules and all these things. We will be jumping into the platform protection, which we will be dividing into the parameter security. Okay, we'll be starting with the concept of the defense in depth and try to understand different things. Like we'll be starting with the parameter security. So in the parameter security, what we are going to learn is and sorry, I forgot to use the text box. So I know my handwriting is quite pathetic, and I think you guys are getting the idea, right? So here what we will be seeing is in the parameter security, we are going to start with the concept like your virtual network, right? IP, like what is private, public, okay, all those kind of thing. Okay, subnet, because again, designing the architecture is quite important from the point of view of your security. We'll be learning things like your, network adapters. Okay, network adapters. We will be learning about the, a few things for the DDoS. Although DDoS is, I think, even if you see in your book as well, that is only 2 paragraph, right? So we'll be seeing these kind of thing. There is going to be the firewall, there is going to be the talk about the VPN and the VNet pairing, right? These kind of thing is going to be there in the your parameter security. Now apart from this, in the parameter security, there is going to be the hosts, then network security. In the network security, there is going to be your NSG, network security group. There is going to be your ASG, application security group. Okay, there is going to be the application gateway, your WAF, right? Web application firewall. There is going to be your user defined routes. All these kind of things are going to be part of the network security. In the host security, okay, if I just jump into the host security part, so in the host security, what is going to be there? There is going to be your endpoint protection. There is going to be the concept like jump box. There is going to be the concept of your Azure bastion. There is the concept of your updates, virtual machine update. So how to create the update management, so we'll be learning that. Okay, talking about the disk encryption, which we'll be covering later down the line. Okay, with that, there is going to be the Windows Defender, which we are only worried in the your Windows Server 2012 or prior edition, right? And after that, there is going to be the container security. Although again, in the container, nothing quite extraordinary has been discussed. The same thing, launching, practical wise, if you will be seeing launching a container and enabling the load balancer there, right? That's the same thing that you are going to get for this particular one as well. So these are the things that what we are going to learn over here, right? So just give me a second. Okay, so these are the few things that what we are going to learn throughout this, right? The container here, right? So in the container, it's the same thing, how to launch a container, how to launch a Kubernetes. Practically those are the things, and theoretically we'll be talking about that, permissions. You will be doing the, you should be only trusting the private in the private registry or something, right? If you are installing the image, always install the image from the trusted resource. And a few rules we'll be seeing that what are the rules over there. okay, based on the like ACR push, ACR pull, those kind of roles from the security perspective we will be discussing. Nothing new in there. Now if the for the guys who have already seen these kind of thing, right, so it will be quite obvious for you that you already know a lot of things, right? So I'm pretty sure that most of you guys know about in the parameter security a lot of the thing. So that is the one place where I am hoping that I can just simply spend around at max 2 days, because if I will be jumping into the each and every concept, it can take more than 3 or more days. But we are not going to spend that much time over the parameter security, because now weightage is being reduced, so we'll be lot less focusing on that. Okay, so it is only around 15%, so we will be 15 to 20%, so we'll be seeing that as well, right? you know so that is the few things that is there. And as I was telling, starting with the RBAC, jumping into your platform protection directly, so towards the next week, mid of the next week, we can end this thing, right? So again, in the task like jump box, bastion, UDR, I will be telling you the things, and the guys who have already done the past course with me, you guys can go ahead and start learning the things. Okay, so that is something that what we are going to do. Okay, and just give me a second, guys. I think Naz has left the session. Okay, who has left and who haven't? Okay, so Kashi is still here. Pranay is here. Vinay. Yes. Okay, I think Naz and Rizu has left the meeting. Okay, so Rizu was busy in the office. So Rizu also joined us today as well. Okay, so I think that was with the Vinay, right? The batch with the Vinay. Okay, so these are the our way that what we are going to learn and what we are going to see here. So this is the first thing. Now, for doing the practical, I think two things what we will be doing. First is that all of you, if you will check your study material, did you guys, sorry, if you check your email, registered email, which you registered with the InfosecTrain, have you guys got the email from the skill pipe? Do you guys have the access of the skill pipe? Okay, Dawa is saying yes. So go ahead, everyone.
No, I don't have yet. I have not received an email.
Okay, from the skill pipe, no mail from the skill pipe.
No.
Okay. Okay, Pranay, check your
Uh,
maybe a spam folder.
let,
Okay,
because
the one,
it is from the sender is InfoSec or it is different.
it is different. It will be skill pipe.
Let me check. If sometimes it goes to my spam, let me check.
Yeah, try to
Actually,
find the skill pipe. Okay, no worries, no worries. Take your time. I'm just showing you this. Okay.
yeah, it is there in my spams. I got it. I got it now.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if you will, okay, I'm logged in actually. So if you will be seeing that there is going to be your study material for the AZ 500, right? This is going to be look something like this, starting with this, right? This is going to be it. So I hope, because there is going to be all this step, you just need to create an account. You need to just go ahead and, after creating account, use your redeem code, and it will be adding a book to your collection, right? So that is one thing that you need to do. Okay, So that is the access. Now, second thing, for your practice, I will be providing you one Azure pass. So the candidate who is again joining me for this session, so I think you will be familiar. If you have used already that pass, that means what is going to happen? You can't use the pass with the same account. You have to create a new account, right? So for everyone, I am having the one more pass, okay, apart from the Kashi, because Kashi I already provided one pass in the morning. Okay, right. So first thing is, let's just quickly spin up either create a new account, right? A new Azure account, or create a new Azure Outlook account, using which we will be creating a particular account where you will be running Azure account where you will be doing all of your practicals, right? So if let me just show you. No, in the same account you can't use the pass. In one account you can use the pass only one time, okay? After that, never, no other pass is going to work. So please do not use the same account where you already redeem the pass, okay? So like I am having one account with the Rishabh @outlook.com. So I can't, and I have redeemed the pass on that account. So next time I cannot redeem the pass in there, because why Microsoft has done this, so that people, they will be keep having those pass and using the same thing over and over again, right? So rather than doing that, one account can use your uh, you know yes, you will be creating a different Microsoft Outlook account, a different Azure uh, Azure account, different Azure account, right? So for that you will be using the different email ID, which is not registered with the Azure itself already, right? So I have dropped this particular link. So I think the guys who are familiar, you just need to click on start. It will be asking you to log in after this, right? Confirm Microsoft account. So you have to click on create new, okay? Because I am already logged in. So let me just first log out. Okay, and if I will be clicking on this, click on start, then use another account, and you know you have to create a new account for this, right? That is one thing. It will be the $100 for 1 month, same thing one more time, right? And we'll be using it smartly, so that we didn't exhaust our limit. So what we are going to do is, let's just take first a 5-minute break here, okay? In the meantime, if you want to grab some of the refreshment, you can grab some refreshment. And apart from that, the people who want to just go ahead and create a new Outlook account, a Gmail account, you guys can go ahead and do that thing, okay? When I will be resuming back, I will be sending all of you your Azure pass, and we will be creating a new account over here. Fine. Okay, everyone, let's just take a quick 5-minute break. So everyone is comfortable with that?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, only 5-minute break. So it is 8:32 in here. We will be back around 8:37. Okay, and who is not leaving their system, those guys can create a new account. In the meantime, Outlook account, okay, and using that Outlook account, we'll be creating new Azure account. Okay, so enjoy your break. Okay, so I hope everyone is back. Okay, good. So Kashi is here. So in the meantime, I forgot to open my list of, okay, where is my list? Okay, so I'm sending all of you one by one your Azure Pass. I'm starting with the Akhil Suresh. Sorry. Okay, Akhil, I think you got your Azure Pass. Okay, good. Now, second one will be for the Anas. Right, I'm sending you. Use this one. I think everyone understand. And please, because if you will be using this with the old account, which where you already redeemed the pass once, okay, the pass will be used, and nothing will be created on your account. So use them carefully. Use a completely new account where you haven't used pass in the past, right? So use the passes very carefully. So yep, Anas also received this one. Now with the Anas, let's just talk about the tower. Okay, tower, I'm sending you your pass. I hope you received. Great. After tower, okay, Kashi I already provided to you. So next will be the Pranay. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay, Pranay, I think you also got, and then the last one will be for the Vinay. Right. So as I was showing you, you have to go to that Azure Pass, Microsoft Azure Pass.com, and there .com. Okay, this point, and here you have to click on this start. Then you have to just click on the create new. Okay, and again I'm letting you know that only once you can use the particular account for a pass. Like if I am having one account, I can only use pass on that account only once. Okay, and I can create one free account as well. So up to now I think you guys will be familiar that how to create a free account. So you can create a free account, and on the same account you can use the pass as well. So that means you can use the same account for 2 months, and in the Azure Pass you are getting $100 for 1 month, and Azure free account will be providing you the $200 for 1 month.
Sir, I've redeemed, but I just want to check whether it's done or not. So I go to billing or just go to my account?
Okay, so if after I think when you redeem that, it would have asked you for details like your company name, your name, and all that kind of thing.
No, I think it was picking up old information, so I skipped that page and then I logged. Like, I don't know what happened after that. That's why I want to check what happened.
Okay, yes, just go to the cost and billing then.
Cost management, billing. Hmm. Mm.
So did you got, do you access that one?
Yeah, I'm on that page, but
Hmm.
doesn't like. Can I share my screen?
Yes, yes, go ahead, share your screen.
So I'm here on the screen. So I used an alternate email, but somehow it picked up my original mail. I don't know why. So I created a different account
Because
with a
you were,
different
I
name.
think, because you were already logged in over there. That's why it pick
Mm.
up that.
No, I logged out and I created a fresh login with this one. Before we went on the break, I did that. But again, when I logged in
Go
with this,
on the left hand side, the tab, it is showing error index page. On the top, another tab. Left to this one. Yeah, left to this one. Left. No, no, not this one.
no, I know this. This
Uh,
GoToMeeting is always a problem. Hold on, huh? I'll just need to move this GoToMeeting bar somehow. It's always okay. Somehow here.
okay, temporary wrong with this site. Mm, mm.
So it's not done, is it?
It haven't done, and now I am quite worried that that pass is not going to work again. Just check that one more time. Go back.
So many screens. Hold on. This GoToMeeting is not as comfortable. Okay. So yeah, see, I'm already there on this new account, right? So why it
Mm,
didn't pick up?
okay, as it was saying that some and temporary error. That could be the case. Okay, close this one again. Go to Microsoft Pass. I think you will be getting it there. You can't get it here now.
So I should sign out.
Yep, you should sign out. Okay, yeah, in this same page, go to the home. Okay, do not click on my account.
Okay.
Okay, close this one, sign out from there, that page again. Yeah, not from here. I think it will be logged in into the, close this tab. Yeah, here on the top, as you can see, sign out, sign out from here as well.
Okay. Now I should take a new window.
Yep. Microsoft Azure Pass.
So should I sign in or should I
Click on
start
the
new?
start. Okay, confirm Microsoft account. Paste that code. Oh, come on. Okay, use the private window. Okay, you don't need to log in into the Google account. Okay. Yeah. Okay, anyone else who is getting any problem?
Hi, Rishabh. My name is Madhu. I joined a little bit late. I don't have the code to enter the the for the Microsoft Pass.
Okay, I will be providing you, Madhu, and welcome to this session.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I will be giving to you. Okay, look like Dawa, you have to try with the different account. Okay. Don't
What do you
use
mean
the
different
Yahoo.
account?
Yeah. Don't use the Yahoo. Okay, use something else like a different Outlook account or a Gmail account that you are having. Use those account, right? Which you haven't used to register with the Microsoft Azure up to yes.
Hmm.
Okay, Vinay, you have received your code, Azure passcode.
Hi Rishabh. Yes, I have received my code and I've also been able to activate it actually. So I'll just share that screenshot.
Okay, no, that's okay. Right. So I think if anyone else is also getting any problem, just let me know. Okay, Madhu, I am just sending you your code as well.
Thank you. Are you sending through the email?
No, I'm on the GoToMeeting chat.
To meeting chat. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I just dropped the code for you. So what you need to do is okay. So first of all, let me introduce myself. That I am Rishabh Potel, and I'm going to be your trainer for this complete journey over here of the AZ 500. So up to now, we haven't actually jumped into the course yet, right? So we have just discussed few things from the security perspective, and we have just discussed that what we are going to cover in this particular course. So up to now we were talking about the CASB, CIA, authentication, authorization, non-repudiation, cloud access security broker. Okay, well, what was the challenges with the from this point of view of security in the cloud, and with that we were just discussing that few of the cloud assessment tool and the different module what we are going to learn and how we are going to cover it throughout the your 4 week of time. Okay, so that is something that what we were discussing up to now, and after that I was just letting everyone know that you guys must have received one mail from the skill pipe which will be containing your a study material like this. Okay, so you will be having you just need to redeem that book, the mail from the skill pipe on your registered email. So you registered the mail which with which you have registered with the InfosecTrain. You must have received a mail from the skill pipe where you can go ahead and redeem that voucher code. After creating an account over here, you can redeem that voucher code and get your study material here.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did that. I got that yesterday. And by the way, thank you for providing that the promo code for Azure Pass. I mean, I got that one. I'm able to set it up now.
okay, right. So to set it up, what you need to do is you need to just go to the Microsoft Azure Pass.com.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah, I enter the code, I log in, and now I am able to, I'm logged onto it now, right now.
okay, that's good, right?
Yeah.
So, you
Thank you.
will be ready over there. Now, this was, bit of the, yeah, that was the my introduction itself.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Davar, I will be doing that. Share your screen. You can just tell me about yourself as well. Tell the team about yourself as well. That just simple thing like where you are right now, how much experience you have, with the Azure. Okay, and so that we can understand that what is your kind of requirement. Okay, we can understand that what is your requirement.
Yeah, I can tell my experience. I've worked with AWS a lot, especially AWS and AWS security. I'm based in the US, New Jersey, and all my experiences, a lot of my experience is in AWS side.
Okay, that's good. It means you're well versed with the cloud and in the Azure.
Azure, I have very little experience. I would say very, very minimal. I haven't done much or anything other than just logged in and just saw that few things, but not much. AWS a lot. I did a lot of work.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, no worries. Okay,
Thank.
right. No problem. So we'll be just going through, and I was discussing that what we are going to cover. So you will be seeing that what we are going to cover and how we are going to cover. Okay, Dawa, do one thing. Try to open it
Mm.
on the incognito mode. Okay, go there. Open the Microsoft Azure Pass. Okay, and I will always suggest that guys, start working on the incognito mode, right? Yeah, while we are practicing this, else a lot of cache memories are there, and when you are trying to do or launch one of the machine, that could sometimes create bit of the problem as well. So I always prefer to work with the incognito mode there. Okay, confirm Microsoft account, try to enter the passcode. Okay, so this is being used, and that's what I was worried about. Okay, no worries, I'm just giving you the another code. Okay, I dropped another code for you. Oh, sorry, I just sent you the wrong one. Okay, my bad. I think that could also be redeemed. Okay, use this one. Okay, now it's done. So you will be giving these details, right? Mandatory details, and fill these ones, and it's done, right? You are having your account.
Okay. Okay. All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, great, right? So as I can see that everyone is able to just go ahead and create an account now. From this perspective, as I was saying that we will be first starting with the your identity, managing identity and access. So in the managing the identity and access, we are not going to do whole lot of thing. We will be just seeing how to create a user. Okay, how to create a group, what are the premium different licenses that you can bought with this, what are the different kind of permissions that you are requiring, the roles we will be talking about. Okay, so we'll be basically talking about the RBAC, okay, role-based access controls. And after learning this, we are going to hit a pause on this first unit, right? And I'm just going to go through this one, and this is the official kind of curriculum as well for. So after this, we will be learning the try to implement the platform protection, right? And as I keep repeating the things, that for the candidates who already are familiar with the 104 part, you guys will be doing this in the advance, okay, or with me. And for the candidate who are not familiar with the 104 launching of the application gateway front door services, for them I will be demonstrating these things, right? So this is how we are going to prepare start. And before we can start with these things, what I want to just say is that everyone is having the account right now, right? So let's just do a very simple practice. Okay, in that simple practice, let's just log in into your account and just simply launch a particular virtual machine. So for the guys who have even done the your AG 900 courses as well, I think everyone is familiar that how to launch a virtual machine, right? Okay, so guys, just go ahead and launch a VM. So I think I will having few of the VM already in advance. Okay, fine, right? Everybody knows, right, how to launch a VM? Anyone who doesn't know how to launch a VM? Okay, so let me just set some rules here. Launch a VM with the Windows Server 2019 data center. Okay, with that, size of that machine should be your B2MS. Okay, using the 2 virtual CPU and 8 gigs of memory. Okay, Kashi, okay, sorry, I forgot the Kashi. Right, okay, Kashi is not familiar with this practice. Okay, simply you have to go, okay, Kashi, for you. At the home page, you will be seeing this create a resource button. So click on this. You will be having these options. Okay, this is the Windows Server 2019 data center. Click on create, right? And here you will be seeing, actually to launch any of the resource. Okay, I think we haven't discussed this in the morning session yet. So all this will be discussing tomorrow, that you will be requiring a resource group to launch a VM. So either you can create a new by clicking on this place, or you can select any existing. I am having a lot of them, so I'll be using any one of them. I will be giving this machine a name. What is the machine name? Right. Okay, selecting a region where I want to launch this one. So you will be having a lot of options. So selecting any one of them, like I'm keeping the East US the default value. And again, if you want to change any different image, like you want to install Oracle Linux, Red Hat, okay, Ubuntu servers, and more. So you can click on see all image. You can select anyone which you want in this part as well. And even then there will be the size will be completely different. You can click on see all size. There are the different size machine, right? Like D series, A series. Everyone will be having few of the
So
few things
which
different.
Windows Server you said? Windows Server, which one?
2019. So you will be selecting that how many virtual CPU you are requiring, the RAM, okay, data disk, and all these things. So I'm going with this size. This size name is B2MS. So I want everyone to launch this. Select this B2MS. Select this one. Okay, giving the username and password, like whenever you log in into the window, right? So you
Yes.
required an account. So for the administrator, just giving an account. So give this the username and the password. Okay. Okay, so giving a username and password, just keeping all the things as it is, right? And okay, so let me just discuss about this later on down the line. Okay, going to the next disk, I'm keeping everything as it is over here in the disk part. And in the 104, Kashi, we will be discussing all these things, like how to attach multiple disk and all that kind of thing. Networking also, I'm just keeping the same. I'm just having some of the IPs, addresses, and all these things here, right? And what are these things? Actually, we'll be discussing them tomorrow as well. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And disabling this on the monitor feature, I'm disabling this. I don't want any extra features there. So I'm just going with this and just simply keep clicking on next, and you can go with all default value there as well and simply create a particular virtual machine. It will be just review and create. It is telling you that how much it is going to cost, and simply click on create. So it will be creating a VM for you.
Oh, cool.
Right, so this is how we launch a particular VM. Right, so now then there are a lot of concepts related to it, that whenever a VM is being launched, it is not even the guys who have completed the AZ900, I think you will be familiar that few other resources are going to be created with that particular one. One thing is, it is going to create your AZVNet, virtual network. This is the one resource that is being created. With that, a network security group, which you can think as a very basic, but
I see.
basic kind of firewall. It is a
Rishabh,
secure.
sorry to stop you. Actually, my network reconnected. I missed the like size of the VM. Could you please help me? Which one to
Si
create?
size of the VM is going to be the B2MS.
So that is 2 CPU, 8 GB RAM.
Yep.
Okay. And it is a 2019 data center generation 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. So this is the machine. So Kashi, whenever a machine will be launched, few things will be launched with it. So that machine is first thing always going to be the part of a virtual network, right? So then that virtual network will be having a sub network, right?
Yes.
In the morning I was talking about that thing. So
Yes.
and that it is going to be launched inside this particular subnet. Okay. So there are few things that is going to be launched in there. So I'm just here. This is the virtual network that is this is the VM. So this
Oh,
is the part of the VNet. So one resource is going to be, first resource is this VNet, second is this your VM. With that, what I have opted for, actually I have selected a public IP for this, right, using which I can connect to this particular resource. So this your resource number third, which is launched with this thing. Now for all the communication, like in our physical device, we are requiring a network interface card, right? So similarly, there will be a network interface which will be created here. That will be the fourth resource. And okay, VNet, and one more resource which will be your network security group. This
oh,
will be the fifth resource that will be created. And why it is, this is just having the simple rule, like on the port number 80, can you connect the HTTP through the HTTP, whether this connection is allowed or not. Okay, on the port number 443, the connection for the HTTPS is allowed or not. On the port number 22, SSH is allowed or not, right? So what kind of
yes.
traffic you are allowing in the machine, or you are blocking. So just very simple thing, based on the IP address and all, you can do that here. And
Sure.
the resource is going to be a disk, right? So if I am launching a virtual machine, so it is requiring a disk, right, where I can
Yes.
store my operating system and all that kind of thing. So these resources are also going to be created with. the VM. Now, if you will see here, this is my VM. And if I go to this test resource groups, there you will be seeing all of my resources. Okay, so here you can see all the things. Here you can see that this is the virtual network. Okay, VNet. This is the virtual machine. This is my public IP. This is my network security group. This is my network interface, and this is my disk. Right. So I think everyone has done this thing, right? Anyone? So I have explained all the things here.
When you selected the disk, which one you selected for the test? Anything is fine, or you're using wanted
I
to
just go with the right now I just go with the default settings, right?
default?
This is the managed disk. This
Yeah.
is not the unmanaged disk. This is the managed disk, which is the kind of the default with this size,
Okay.
right? All right. So this is the one which I have selected.
Thank you.
This is the Azure management. Okay. Later, if you as you were saying that you are in the admin part, administration course, there are the few things that we learn, like attaching the different kind of disk, creating the managed disk. Okay. All that kind of thing. There you have the different option to go ahead, in the time of the creation as well, that you want to go with the managed disk, unmanaged disk. Unmanaged disk are the one which you will be creating in the as a blob in the blob storage, okay, or in your storage account.
Okay. Thank you.
And that blob storage is just like the S3 bucket in the AWS. Okay, so this is the one thing that just launching this thing. So why I did this, so that later down the line, because we'll be starting with the identity and access management part, so we can understand that what is going on, why we'll be requiring the things, and creating the user and all that kind of thing, giving you the different perspectives and views. So right now what we have done, we have created an account, right? So after using the permission, whatever permission that default account is having, so we can be pretty sure that that account is going to have all the permission. So now what we know is that this particular user can do anything. We created a particular virtual machine as well, right? So this is the very basic thing what we have done, right? So up to now we didn't bring any other concept. So now let's just start with the very first domain, which is going to be your uh, identity and access management. So when we are talking about the identity and access management, so first thing is coming up to into our mind is going to be the Active Directory. So if you have worked with the your on-premise Active Directories, right, in the past, so okay, how many of you are familiar with the Active Directory? AD, simply we call them the AD. So this is here Azure AD, right? On the left hand side you can just jump into the Azure AD from here as well. This is the Azure version of the Active Directory. Okay guys, so we have the Active Directory on our on premises as well. So what is happening with those particular Active Directory is, when we have those Active Directory, those are just simply I can say a kind of a database which is going to contain all your identities, right? It will be having all of your different identity, different users and all that kind of thing. Okay, right? So all the different kind of the users, like if my organization is purchasing this account, right? So right now we created a simple account. So if my organization is purchasing this account, what is going to happen? There are hundred of employees. So what they need to create each and everyone's identity who can access this thing. So there is a team of 100 people who are working with the Azure cloud. So you need to create their identities, right? And this Azure Active Directory is going to consist all the users, okay, their permission, that what they can do, and it has not only these features but the multiple features as well. that are in there, that what we will be exploring throughout the your Azure course. So we will be starting with the your Azure identity, managing the identity and the accesses. So now when we try to understand this thing on the Azure, there are three different level of the permission. So let me just draw a line over here, this place. Okay, and let me just start with the concept of the a very bit small thing, that is the permission, right? So when we are talking, and as I was saying that from the why I'm talking, so I'm just going to assume that at least you guys are familiar with the Azure fundamentals, right? So we have three level of permissions, right? So when we talk about the three level of permissions, there is your subscription, right? Okay, then there is going to be your Azure AD, there is going to be your resources and resource group, right? All these things. Now, okay, so what we know, I was telling you the Azure AD. So what Azure AD it is doing, it is providing you the identity. You can define users, group, service identity, service principal on the Azure Active Directory here, right? This is my default directory where I am right now. So okay, sorry. So what we can do, we can just go ahead and we can just create the different users here, identities here. Okay, service identity and principal for your application, that who can access the directory and not, all that kind of thing. Now when I'm talking about the subscription, so what is the subscription, just giving you the brief idea. So if you remember in the subscription and billing, this will be my subscription against which I am going to be charged. So whenever I am going to spin up any resource, I am going to be billed against a particular subscription. Right now I am having this Azure Pass subscription because this is a free one. You can choose pay as you go, enterprise agreement, student pass, okay, different things. Now here what we can do, we are on this part and I can just go ahead in this Azure Pass right now, I can have multiple subscription as well. I can just go ahead and keep adding the different subscription, purchasing the multiple subscription, like uh, this is the one subscription that where I am right now, that is the Azure Pass. I can purchase different subscription as well. If I go to the home, if I click on the subscription part, this is one subscription that I am having. If I want to add or purchase a new subscription, I can do that as well, right? That is also the option. So what is subscription? Simply, for an example, if I am launching a VM, right? With the VM, I launch the 6 different resources, right? So if this VM is running, I am using the public IP, so I have to pay some charge to the Azure, right, to Microsoft. So where they will be billing me, they will be billing me against this particular subscription. And similarly, I can add multiple subscription, like I am having 4 subscription. Why you will be needing 4 subscription? Let's just say that you are having 4 different department. One is your HR, okay, one is your production, one is your testing, okay, and one is your development, right? So these are the different let's just say department there is. So what I want, that if HR are spinning up any resources in the Azure, they will be billed against this particular HR. If production team is spinning up VM, right, they will be charged against this production subscription, and testing and the development. So I can purchase them and I can change the name of the subscription. That is the one thing, right? I will be changing the name like HR, production, testing, development, and I will be purchasing subscription for them, and this will be helping me out to manage my bills. I know it will be giving me the idea that how much HR is costing me, how much production is costing me, testing. I will have the separate bill and I can divide them as well, right? So that is the one thing that what we can do and why we require the subscription here. Okay, apart from this, we are having the resource and the resource group. So if this virtual machine, this is a resource. Okay, a public IP. So you can see that I am having this public IP address. So this is a resource. I am having the virtual network. This virtual network is a resource, right? A disk is a resource. So I'm having the disk, and what I have done, I am having this resource group. So what is a resource group? Resource group, you can think like a container. So I want to manage all the things. So let's just say that I am developing any particular program. Okay, so all the related resource that I am going to require, I will be deploying them inside a resource group, so which is like a container. So I have launched this machine, so all related resource to this particular VM has been launched inside this resource group. Similarly, if I will be requiring a load balancer, I will for this particular project, I will be launching it here, right? So what is happening with this, that I am just managing all my resources, and I am having what I can do with the resource and resource groups now is that when I'm having these resources and resource groups, so with this, what I can do is, if my task is complete, simply I can go and delete this complete resource group, right? I don't have to find, if I'm not having sorting the things out, managing the things, I'm going to have a very messy Azure solution, that there are n number of machine, hundreds of machine running, right? I don't have any way to find them. So by this means, you can manage all of your resources, handle them. All these things can be done over here. Okay, so this is the resource and resource group. So I'm having the three different things, right? Subscription, your Azure AD, and the resource group. So that is just basic things there. Now I'm having three level of permission, three different permission. So when I'm talking about the Azure AD, so in the Azure AD, what kind of permission I am looking for? So when we talk about the Azure AD, so who can create the user? Okay, AD, as what I was telling you, that AD is going to contain your identities, different users. So here in the AD, if you will be seeing that there is going to be your different users. So right now there is no user because I am also using a completely new account. So there is only one user, Aden Hazard. So he is the owner as well, right? Just like you, right? So this is the single user. I will be showing you how to create new users and all those kind of things. So it will be handling, it is the single place for the providing the identities, right? To user, you can create groups and all those kind of things. Now, who can create this user? Okay, who can create the group? Who can handle the password? All that kind of the permissions will be permissions on the level of the Azure AD, right? So when we are talking about this, who can create the users, who can create the group, service identity principal, who can do such kind of thing, that will be the part of the Azure AD. That what we will be focusing on, right? Permission on first level. Now, even if you have permission on the your Azure level, right? If you have the permission on the Azure AD level, if you have permission of creating the user, creating the group, that doesn't mean that you have the permission on the subscription level. What I mean by that is, to what is the permission on the subscription level? I was showing you different permission. Who can purchase the subscription, right? And who can manage the bill, right? Who can manage the bill cycle, who can manage the your limitations, we put the limit as well. So who can do those kind of things, right? So that will be the part of the your subscription. So even though if I am I am having permission over the Active Directory, I can create user password, that doesn't mean that I can simply go ahead and purchase the subscription. For the subscription, I will be requiring different permission. Now, if even I am having the AD or the subscription permission, that doesn't mean that I'm also having the permission on the resource as well, right? And what I mean by this, that that I am having the permission on the resource as well, that simply means that that user A or B, do they have permission to go ahead and spin up a VM, right? Spin a VM or create a web app. Do they have permission to create a storage account? Do they have permission to create a load balancer, right? So that kind of the thing. Okay, so even though I am having the Azure AD permission, it doesn't mean that I am having the permission to create the resources as well, right? So these are the three different level of permission that we have on the Azure. So first, this thing is clear, three level of the permission. Okay, so yeah, good, right? This is one thing, that who can do these kind of thing. Now I was showing you this subscription. Okay, on the subscription part I was telling you that you can go ahead and rename these things. So yes, we can do, this is the option. You guys can go ahead and rename this whenever you want. You want to change this name, you can do that as well. Okay, that is the thing. And you can add multiple, I already shown you that you can purchase different bills, right? You can control the different, aspect of the subscription and all that kind of thing, right? Manage the policy for them. Okay, and all that kind of thing. And the reason for that is, I already explained that maybe you want to, in your organization you are having the different requirement, like, this is your organization, you are having the different team, like the HR, you are having the production team, right? You are having the testing. Okay, you are having the development team, right? That kind of things you are having. So for them you can just go ahead and purchase the different subscription, right? And in the AD you are having the permission to create the user and all those kind of things, right? So so if one thing I was telling you, that if I'm as the, having the permission over the Azure AD, so what a user who is having the permission on the Azure AD can do, if he has the right permission, he can give himself the permission on the resource. But again, thing stand the same, that you have to provide the permission separately, right? Now when we will be looking into the Azure AD, there is going to be the different aspect and the billing aspect of as well. There are different license when we talk about the Azure AD, different license, and we have to purchase them. So I think a lot of changes were going on in here. So I'm pretty sure that, I was looking into this page, that this is actually now change a bit, this page, right? So here if you will be seeing that, we are having the different licenses, like premium P1, premium P2. We are having the free license, which is already included when you created the account. You enable this free account, free license, and then the Office 365 apps. So there we are having different license, like E1, E2 license, right? E3 license, and these are coming with the different features as well, that, who can different features of the Active Directory. Okay, don't worry, we will be discussing all these things. So first is, we are having this Active Directory where you can create the users group and manage the identity of all the different aspect of the your users and all, right? So what we will be doing, when we are having the different license, those different license has the different features. So just give me a second, let me just show you few of the features that what are there. Okay. Okay, and then later down the line, what we'll be doing, we will be comparing it with the your on-premise Active Directory as well. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, I think they removed that particular. Okay, why they have removed that particular? Okay, I think that will be in your study material one. Uh, Yep, it's here. So if we will be looking into the your book, there are going to be the different features of each license. Okay, so from the pricing page, I think they have removed that thing. So few simple things like what you can do with your license if you are going ahead and purchasing the different licenses, what features you will be getting. If you guys are familiar with your on-premise AD, you will be getting the features like we have this feature of single sign-on, right? And the how many objects you can create in the directory. Objects are like your identity. I am creating one account for the for example for the Kashi, for the your Akil, right? And one account for the let's just say Davar, all those different people, right? And I think you guys will be familiar with this as well. As you I am hoping that you guys have the bit of the background idea regarding the Active Directory, right? So like in the free one, what we can have, we can manage the identity and access management, business to business collaboration. Okay, in the 365 we have the different tier like E1, F1, F2, F5, up to F5, right? Those kind of the different license. For the 365 app as well, I can purchase this license, and then there is going to be premium P1, P2. So there are many features like self-service password reset. There is going to be the feature of conditional access, identity protection, and identity governance. So all this we'll be doing on our very last week, right? So this feature is enabled with either conditional access is enabled with the premium P1 and premium P2 only. Then identity protection is enabled with the premium P2 only. Similarly, a feature like just in time, for this again you need to have the premium P2 license, right? So there are going to be multiple features like hybrid identities. uh, you know we have in the hybrid identities, we have one feature like password write backs. So that is again going to be enabled with the specific license if you have, right? Advanced group access management, some premium feature will be enabling with this particular line, right? So we'll be having the features like self-service password reset. Okay, self-service password reset. So for that again you will be requiring the premium P2 license. So a feature like PIM, privilege identity management, again you will be requiring the premium P2 license. So these are the different features which will be enabling only enabled through the different licensing program, and for that you need to purchase this complete license itself, right? So how to purchase license and all, I think up to this point you guys will be familiar. If not, we will be discussing that, don't worry. Okay, so all those things we are talking about the directory, that this can do all the things. So one of the very specific feature for the this is going to be directory is going to be your user and how to create a user. So when we will be coming back after the break, what we are going to discuss is we are going to discuss about the how to create a user first, right? As I was saying that directory is containing the different user. So I will be showing you that how to create different users here and how to create a simple group, right? So before we jump into the break, do you guys have any questions?
So the previous slide which you have shown, does it like in scope for the exam?
Okay, which slide? The
The
particular
license,
price licenses one.
yeah,
Yeah, it
like
will be just you need to understand this thing, this concept, because later down the line we will be having different features like conditional access and policies, identity protection, governance, right? So it will be enabled with the only premium P2 license. So sometime it could be like hidden hint, you are just going through a question which is based on the case study, right? And they can say that this particular user is having premium P2 license or premium P1 license, right? So and then in the case study question they are asking that that can for user one I can enable the your identity governance or your conditional access. So would that be possible? So you have to select yes and no, on the checkbox. So what you will be selecting. So you need to have the bit of the idea that what are the few features like conditional access, identity protection, and all.
okay, okay, thanks for
right? So when we'll be coming back, we will be just learning more about the Active Directory, comparing it with the your on-premise directory, and then we'll be seeing about the few more rules, right? So at this point we are going to take around 20 minutes of break. I think everyone is fine with that. Okay, so I'll be finishing my dinner, and if you guys, if it is also a dinner time for you, so you guys can also finish. And I can see that you guys are joining from the different locations, so maybe different timing. Oh, yep. Okay, Dawar, yes. So once we'll be back from the break, we will be doing that first thing, right? Creating a WhatsApp group. Okay, great. So it's around 9:35 in here. So we'll be taking around 20 minutes of break. So we'll be back by 9:55, right? So everyone enjoy your break. Then we'll be back. Okay, so I'm hoping everyone is here.
Rishabh, hi. Can you send the practice questions this time at the beginning?
Okay, sure, I will be sending you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so how many of you are back? Yeah, just do let me know. Okay, so while others are also joining us in the meantime, let me do one thing. Let me just create a group and I will be sending you guys the link on the GoToMeeting chat, and using that link you guys can join this particular one. Okay, this particular course. Oh, sorry, this particular WhatsApp group for this course. Okay, so while everyone else also joining us, so I'm just creating this WhatsApp group and I'm just sending you guys the link so you can join this one directly using the link here. Okay, so I have dropped that link into the GoToMeeting chat. You guys can go ahead and use this one. right? Use the link to join the group. Okay, so I hope that almost everyone is back from the break. And now what we are going to do is we are just gonna go ahead and talk more about this AD, right? So I was talking about these different licenses that we usually have, right? Now I was just showing you that in this one AD, like we have the AD on our on-premise. So what where we use this? We use this for creation of the different users, okay, what permissions they will be having and all that kind of thing, creation of the group and all that kind of thing. So here's the same thing, so just to understand a very small concept of the AD, I'm just going to create a new user, okay, and let's just say that I want to create a user for with the name your uh, uh, let's just create one for the Akil, right? For the Akil Suresh. So this is going to be the name, right? So this is going to be the name and this is the username. Now, this part, if you will be noticing that this is something like, this is actually my email ID that I'm using, right? So I'm using this email ID at the rate jetable.org. So same, you guys can do the same thing. This is the dot on microsoft.com. So this ID is associated with the my particular email ID which I use for the creation of this account, right? So this is not the custom domain. So what you can do, you can just go ahead and further down the line you can enable the custom domain, like for your organization if it is like at the rate, for me it is infosectrain.com, maybe for you it is like oracle.com, and for someone else it will be like your aia.com, like these kind of thing. Okay, now uh, when we are talking about these things, we are talking about these particular scenarios, that you are creating this thing in the future. So I will be showing you that how you can add those custom domain, right? So right now I'm just going with the default one which is with this particular account. So this is one, then I have just given the name, and I'm just going with the auto generated password. So I'm just, let me just note this password as well. So I will be copying this email ID, that what is the email ID over here. Okay, and I am just going to copy this password as well, okay, because I need to log in this particular account as well. So this is what I'm going to use. So this is one thing, and let me just simply create a user. Okay, I'm just doing the simple thing. I only added the name and copy that password. So I can see that I have added one particular user for this account, right? Now, if I again go here and check this thing out, that this is the your Akil Suresh, I have created one account for it. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open another browser. In that browser, I'm just going with the portal.azure.com, and I'm just simply going to you know use this, the complete username. So what was the username for Akil? Akil, this was the complete username. Then this is the identity. What I created an identity for the Akil Suresh. So I know Akil. Now let's just say that this was a job process, right? So I take the interview for the Akil. Akil is now onboarded. During the onboarding, I am creating an account for Akil, right? And Akil is also having the password. So when Akil will be using this password to sign in, what is going to happen is that it will be asking to update this password when you are doing this for the very first time. So again, use the current password and then change the password as well. So let me just create a new password for him, and let me just sign in with that password. Okay, Okay, maybe later. So now if you will be seeing that I'm logged in into the Azure with that particular user, yeah, which is the Akhil Suresh. So now what I have done, I have created an identity for the Akhil and I logged in using that. Now when I'm doing this thing, okay, and if I again take you back to my main account, right? This was my main account. If I go to home and if I just simply click on all resources, so what is going to happen, that you guys will be familiar that these are the all resources that I am having, right? And same if I go ahead with the Akhil here, the account of the Akhil, so what is going to happen, and if I try to see all resources here, so what I'm seeing, nothing, right? So if you remember what I have talked about, that there are three level of the permission, right? So I have created an account for the Akhil, but that account doesn't have any of the permission, neither on the subscription level, on Azure AD level, or either on the resource or the resource group level. So he is unable to view the resources as well, right? So we have the account, but that account is of no good because that particular person doesn't have any permission, right? So this is the one thing that you are seeing over there, right? That this is a user, you created an identity for this user, and you are getting that user right now have no permission, right? This is a simple thing, that creation of a your user, right? So you have created a user over here. Similarly, we can create groups as well, right? So later down the line we'll be coming to the groups as well. So this was your directory, okay, and this is the cloud-based directory, right? So how many of you are familiar, okay, how many of you are not familiar with your Active Directory, which is your on-premise one?
Uh, Hi, Rishabh, Darpan here.
Yes, Trapan.
I'm not completely familiar with, like, I mean, since I am from a security background, so I don't have that extensive experience from the Active Directory.
Hmm. Okay, no problem. So our focus right now here is on the things like you just need to understand that Active Directory is a place where you will be just creating the different identities. It is a kind of the database which will be holding the different your identities. It will be helping you with the concept of the a single sign-on, like very simple, that your on-premise directory, they uses the your Kerberos, right? Kerberos protocol. So what is happening in the Kerberos is that we are having the ticket granting ticket TGTs, right? And it is enabling the single sign-on, like I'm having a centralized server where I will be doing the whenever I want to log in, so your request is always sent to your on-premise, to your AD server, which will be verifying your, doing the authentication, that you are the particular person. Now, when it will be doing the particular, when you are authenticated, you will be provided with the your, a TGT or ticket granting tickets session with the particular session stamp and all those kind of thing using the Kerberos. Now, in the organization, there could be n number of different resources like a printer, a network file share, right, where you are sharing the files and all those kind of things. Now, for example, if you want to use this resource in your organization, right? So, what different resources will be wanting that you need to verify it with them, right? So again, this is becoming very tedious process, that you are going to each resource and verifying, you again entering your credential. So with the help of Kerberos protocol, what is happening, that I will be asking for a ticket from this particular Kerberos server. It will be providing me or granting me a time stamp ticket, which will be telling me that I can which I will be providing to this resource, and this resource will be trusting that yes, this person, this user has already authenticated by the Kerberos server, and now he can just go ahead and access this resource. so that there is no too much hectic, things like, again, user have to type. If I want to use a printer, I am just typing my username password. Again, I want to use my network file system, a network file share, where I want to just access any file. Again, I have to enter the credentials. So that is becoming the bit hectic task. So with the help of your Kerberos, okay, and the implementation of AD, our task is becoming pretty simple. With that, we can define a lot of different policies over this place. Okay, access policies, RBAC policies, all the different things. Group policies we can create similarly, like I was creating a group, right? So you can create a group and user, and different policies we can define over there, right? So that is one thing regarding the your active directory, right? So this is where we started with the your very basic active directory. So we are having the Azure Active Directory, which is Microsoft's multi-tenant cloud-based directory and management service. So same thing it will be providing. It is providing us the single sign-on, right, to the Dropbox, to the Office 365, and all those kind of things. Okay, it is able to manage your you know, it will, as I was just talking about the different features with the license. So here what we can do, all that self-service password management, we can do the role-based access controls, okay, application monitoring, and all that kind of thing we can do here, right? And when we are talking about the your on-premise, so there is going to be this simple difference between them. So let me just open a bit where a slide. Let me just use a slide. Okay, and again, guys, here we are just taking, because this is the security course, so here we are just going to assume that you guys have the bit of the basic idea regarding the Active Directory and its feature for the identity and access management, right? So here, if you will see some of the Azure Active Directory features, so we are, again, the same thing we are talking about, that it is helping you in the this will be helpful in the different scenarios, like this is the Windows Server Active Directory. Okay, they are comparing those things. So self services, single sign-on, okay, these kind of the things, the services that will be provided to you, which we were discussing up to now, right? So it is saying the same thing, right? Integrate, and one of the feature is that this Azure Active Directory, okay, when I am saying the Azure Active Directory, it is AAD, and your in on-premise we are having the AD, Active Directory, right? So it can easily integrated with your on-premise Windows Server Active Directory, right? And it can provide you the single sign-on access. Now we will be comparing this with the your on-premise AD domain services. Okay, so we on-premise we have the domain services. So first is when we talk about the identity solution. So when we talk about the Azure AD, it is the primary identity solution which is designed for specifically internet based application, which will be using your HTTP and HTTPS, right, as a protocol. And when we are talking talking about this Azure Active Directory Domain Service, ADDS, right, it is specifically for your on premise, right? So it is for your cloud and it is for your on premise, one thing. Now thing is that it is designed for the HTTP and HTTPS, while in our on premise what we use the LDAP, right? I think you guys must have heard about this. All the queries will be going through the LDAP, right? Lightweight directory access protocol, right? So there is the different version is LDAP S, which is for the secure. Okay, now here what we are using, because in the Azure cloud we will be using the REST API, right? So we will be using the because it is based on the HTTP and HTTPS, HTTPS. So we can't use the LDAP over here. So what we will be using? We will be using the REST API over here. Now with that, for the communication, what we are going to have if we are using the HTTP and HTTPS, so we will be using protocols like SAML, if you have heard about these things, SAML, okay, your WS Federation, for the authentication, for the communication as well. And we'll be using the Open ID Connect, right? Open ID Connect. And this Open ID, okay, I think these are written over here. I don't need to write them, right? So for the authentication, SAML, Open ID Connect, WS Federation, it is, it can use, okay, this is for the authentication, right? And with that, if we talk about the domain service, so it use the Kerberos and the NTLM, right, protocol. So same, it goes for the your authorization service. For authorization, this particular one, so okay, so this is not mentioned here. We use the OAuth on the Azure AD side, right? While if we just talk about the this particular sorry, so when we talk about the your ADDS, so it is using same again, using the your Kerberos and the your NTLM for the same thing, right? Now for the federation service, so federation service, Azure AD, it can include the federation service and many third-party services, like you can integrate it with the federation of the Facebook, Google, right? Those kind of thing, right? So you can use those things on the your Azure AD side, right? Now, when we are talking about the federation service on the DS, there is no federate service on the Azure AD domain server. Okay, we can't use them. Now, apart from that, when we are talking about these things, so there are your organization policies, okay, which are called OUs, sorry, organizational unit, OU, and your group policies, GPOs, which is the very specific feature for the your ADDS, right? And these are the few simple things that are there, right? So when we are talking about the Azure AD, so Azure AD, it is simply having your user and group, right? It is a kind of the flat structure, and there is no organizational unit or your you know uh, group policies, right? Nothing such kind of things are there. So it is a flat structure, and Azure AD and DS, they are completely different if you will be comparing both of these services. And again, this DS and the your Azure AD, they are completely different. And in the Azure AD, or Active Directory, which you have in your own organization, they will be helping you with the things like single sign-on, using the same directory and all that kind of thing. Now, if you want to use your on-premise account, or your on-premise identity over the your Azure cloud, so for that, what we have the Azure AD sync. So that's why I don't want to deep dive into this right now. This we will be covering towards the very last, right? Like how to synchronization, what are the feature in this synchronization, how to connect, and all those kind of things here, right? So I was just wanted to give you the bit of the idea that if you are familiar with the domain services on your on-premise, what are the few different things, right? So we were talking about the three different level of permissions, that we have the different type of permissions and the features of the your particular cloud. So similarly, what we can do, I just shown you that how you can create a user. So what I can do, I can also create the groups. When we are talking about the groups are having your different, I can have different type of group itself. There are security group, there is going to be Microsoft 365 group, right? There is then let me just show you what I mean by group. So for example, I am having the 15 user or 10 user. So in this scenario, what is going to happen, I am having 10 users, so 2 of them are for the HR department, 3 of them are from the your production, 3 of them are from the your testing, and 2 are from the your development, right? Now what I can do, I can go ahead and give each of these user the different permission, right? Like I have created one account for the Akhil Suresh, So either I can go ahead and give the Akhil the permission, or what I can do is I can go ahead and the complete HR team, I can create a group and HR team will be the member of that group. Now once I am done with this, so what I can do is directly provide the access to the group itself, right? Permission to the group. So all the member of that group will be inheriting that particular access itself, right? So we are having first a security group, and these are the most common group that we are having. They are easily easy to create. You can use them to manage the different member and computer access to shared resource for a group user, right? Similarly, we can create the Microsoft 365 group. So if you will see, I'm having these two options, security group or Microsoft 365 group. So these group, they provide the collaboration opportunities by giving member access to a shared mailbox, calendar, file, SharePoint, those kind of the feature, 365 feature, right? So it will be also, this option also will be giving you the access to people who are outside of your organization. Using the 365, what I can do, I can give some people who are outside my organization to the access of this group, right? So this is this option is available to user and for the admins both, right? So I'll be simply creating a security group over at this point. I can go ahead and create the group name, give this group a name like test
Um,
group.
Rishabh, Tarpan,
Yes, Tarpan.
just one question. Now, when you say Microsoft 365 group type,
Mhm.
so this is more kind of granting the access to the third party, maybe like some partner organization.
Yeah, you
Am
can
I correct?
provide to third party as yes.
So does it mean is it that Microsoft 365 is only for a guest user, as if we are granting them the access of our resources?
Okay, so when you have to provide them the access, like for the
Can
mailbox,
you be
calendar.
louder, because it seems that you are a little bit far from your mic?
Okay, my voice is coming from far.
Now, okay.
Okay, so I was just saying that these using these group, when you have to provide some member the access of the mailbox, calendar, file, SharePoint, those kind of thing, then in those scenario you will be using, and it doesn't mean that it will be only used for the third party always, right? That is the option that you can give the people outside your organization the access of the group as well. That is just the option.
All right, all right.
Okay.
So do we get this kind of the questions in the exam, like what is the difference or no?
No, no, no. Simply the questions will be like, again, this will be having the mostly like either the directly they will be asking, right? That, that there is a user. Okay, you have created a Microsoft 365 group. Okay, can you give the access to some other user? Yes and no. Or either this will be again part of a case study, that kind of thing.
All right.
Okay, so where you will be seeing this thing and they are talking about that you want to collaborate, okay, or give someone outside person the access of the group. So what should be, and then maybe that there is the drop down menu like this, and you have to select your option, okay, out of this, that whether it will be a part of the security group or Microsoft 365 group, that kind of thing.
So 36 security group would be as if a local group where we are not granting more level of the permission to the users, right? It is just like a local user.
Yeah, shared resource for the group user, right? Computer access and the
Yeah, yeah.
the most common type thing, right?
All right.
Okay, so as right now I'm just creating this group, and description is not necessary, I'm not doing this thing. And right now if you will be noticing that I'm not getting any option here, I'm not getting this option here to change this one, only I'm having the membership type assigned, right? I'm not getting the option of the dynamic user or the dynamic device. Why? Because I don't have premium P1 license or premium P2 license. Okay, that's why I'm not getting this one. So right now let's just go ahead with this thing. I will be showing you how to enable that particular premium licenses. Okay, Now I'm creating this user. Okay, so I'm just adding the member here. Okay, owners. So owner will be this particular group, user, owner of this group, and then the member. I'm making the Akil the member of this group, right? And simply because I am only having 2 people here, so I'll be creating a lot of other users as well. So simply I'm just showing you that this is a one group that I have created. Now at that point, if you have noticed, I was not getting more option to create the dynamic assignment or other kind of assignment. Why? Because if you will be seeing that I'm only having this Azure AD free license. So how I can go ahead and simply have that premium P2 or P1 license. So we are in this page, and if you will be seeing at this point that I need to sign in here to purchase any of the license, right? So you can click on the sign in button over here, and now one thing that you need to keep in mind when you want to purchase any of the those license, you need to log in not with your global account, but with the particular account with the custom domain name, right? And if you will notice at this point, so I was talking about the custom domain name when I was creating the account or user, right, identity. So what I was telling you that this is the my default Microsoft account, right? This is my on Microsoft account, correct? So at that time when we were creating this user, so at that time I was saying that if I would have custom domain, so I can add that custom domain at this part. So how to do this thing? If I go to the default directory part, okay, on the left hand side you will be seeing this option, custom domain names. So what is custom domain name? Like for my organization it will be infosectrain.com, your organization it could be kpmg.com, right? Those kind of custom domain. Now for the custom domain, if you want to practice this thing, what you need to have, you need to have one custom domain, right? Like you can purchase one custom domain from the godaddy.com, right? I'm purchasing one from the godaddy.com. So you can just go ahead and purchase this thing. You will have your own account, okay, and you can just purchase any of the domain name there. Now if once you have that thing, so what you will be doing, click on this button, add custom domain, give this place the name like rishabh.com, right? And click on add domain. Now what it will be doing, it will be giving you the text record, mx record. Now I will be logging into my login into my account here, right? I will be signing in into my GoDaddy account. Once I will be signing in there, I will be updating these records in there, and it I once I will be click on verify, it will be saying that my account has been verified, right? Once I update these things. Now once I have connected that particular account, that domain name here, custom domain name, I can create a user with the extension like I created for the Akil. Same, I can go ahead and create another account for the like this Vinay at the rate, okay, because the name is this rishabh.com, so at the rate rishabh.com, right? So I can have this kind of thing when you will be adding the custom domain name at this point, right? Just like you guys will be having your official email account, right? So you can use the same thing over this part as well. Now you will be requiring that you will be logging in there and purchasing this thing. Now with that thing, one more requirement is there, that as a user you need to have one permission, and that permission name is your billing administrator, okay, a role which is billing administrator, and we will be coming into those parts where we will be talking about the different roles, right? So you just keep this in mind, right? Now how to enable that feature in this Azure Pass? So for that, what you guys can do is, if you want to enable it right now, it's fine, or you want to enable it on the very last week, that is also fine, right? So on the default directory, I'm going to have this option on the left hand side, a licenses. So here we are having this option, get a free trial. So click on this one. So I can get a free trial of 30 days for the Azure Premium P2 license. I can simply go ahead and click on activate. So it will be activating that license for me. Now this is one thing. Okay, apart from that, once you will be purchasing this complete thing, okay, and let me just show you the price related to this. So as you can see, if you are purchasing the premium P1 license, it is going to cost you 432 rupees per user per month. Same if you move forward, 648 user per month for the premium P2 license per user per month. Okay, so if I am having more user, I will be paying more. Okay, keep this thing in mind, right? These are the prices that you have to keep in mind. Now I have activated a 30-day free trial for me. Now next thing what I need to do is, if I see in all products, so I can see that this is my license here, and I can assign it to the 100 people, 100 users, this license. Okay, so I will be just selecting this one and I will clicking on assign. So let me just add user or the group. I want to assign it to a user or to a group. So if I will be selecting a group, means all the person in that group will be, eligible for this license. Now I am just saying that, assign this license to this particular user, Eden Hazard. Let me select this one. Let me just go to review and assign and click on assign. It will be assigned, right? So it is saying that the license has been assigned now to one user. Now if I go again to the license and okay, overview to the all product, this is my license. It is still showing the 100. Okay, now here you can see that, my license is changed for the Azure AD Premium P2. So sometime what will be happening, guys, that once you have done this and you are just trying to create a, let's just say, a group or a user, right, and still you are not getting the membership type, to change this thing. Why? For this thing, what you need to do is just go back, click on top, sign out one time. After assigning yourself the license, you need to sign out one time and then again sign in one more time, right? So again I will be picking this thing up, and again let me just enter my password over here. Right, so now if you will be seeing that option of the dynamic users or dynamic group, so that is going to be there, right? Just you guys can get assured. So I'll be showing you that, how to create the dynamic group. Don't worry on that particular area, right? So this is the one. So if I try to create a user, a group of user, I create a new group. So now you can see that I'm okay, still I'm not getting this one. Okay, so sometime it can take few minutes to take into the effect, right? So it will be don't worry, this will be giving me the permission of creating the dynamic group as well. Now I am having the Azure AD Premium P2 license. Okay, so while the point we will be discussing and seeing it later on. So this is the one thing. Now same thing, if I will try to assign this license to your, okay, go to the all product, and still I can see that, it is assigned to one and now it is available for 99 people. If I just try to assign this license, so to the Akhil, I'm going to get an error. Okay, select this one, review and assign, and I'm going to get the error, right? So I am getting this error that license not assigned. Why? Because to use this particular license or to assign someone the license, you need to add a very specific detail about the user, uses location. So I haven't entered Akhil Suresh's the uses location. So here if you will see, let me just click on edit here. Okay, so there is going to be my users location, right, from where this person is using. So this need to be defined. So I will be simply saying that from where Akhil is trying to access this particular account, right? So I have to define this usage location with that. So let me just select the okay. So okay, where you are right now, Akhil, I will be selecting the same country.
Abu Dhabi, UAE.
Okay, oh sorry, UAE. Okay, no options.
United Arab Emirates.
Okay, let me just select any location, right? Like say, let me just okay, because I just want to show this, let me say that you are in the Fiji, right now, and let me just save this thing. Once I updated his profile, I can go back to the default directory, to my licenses, to all of my product, select this one, assign this one, add user and group, select Akhil Suresh, select this one and review and assign this license to this user. So it's been assigned to the your user itself now, right? This is the one thing, okay, regarding this license and all that kind of thing. So we were talking about the different kind of and level of permissions and all those kind of thing. So to understand, even if I just go to this account here, this was the Akhil's accounts, and I was seeing that he doesn't have any permission right now, right? So I was talking about the different permissions, like what could be the different permission. I was talking about the different things. So if we just talk about in that particular scenario, managing your subscription, I was showing you your subscription part. So what is happening, that there was this subscription, and I was saying that if you want to just go ahead or purchase anything, you need to have the billing administrator role, to that particular thing or to particular account. So we will be just talking about the different rules. So in on the same series, first let's just talk about, I started with these level of subscription, 3 level of permission. So let's just start with the Azure subscription first. So on the Azure subscription level, what kind of permissions we are having and what kind of permission we can assign to very specific people, we will be seeing that. Now for that I will be opening one of the document series. Okay, so what we have on the subscription level, who can purchase the subscription, right? First thing, who can purchase it, who can manage those subscription, right? And again, they are talking about the same thing, that on the directory level you are having the different permission. So we are having the classic subscription administrator role. So there are 3 very specific subscription based role, right? Permission on the subscription level. So we are having first your okay, account administrator, this permission, right? This role we are going to have. So this is only one per Azure account. So in complete Azure account, there is going to be only one account administrator. And when in the beginning, when we created this account, so this user has been created for us, the user which we created, with which we create the Azure account, that has been assigned the account administrator there, right? So what he can do, he can access Azure portal and the all management, manage all the bills. He can manage the bills for all subscription in the account. He can create new subscription, cancel subscription. He can just go ahead, or change the billing for a subscription. He can just go ahead and change the service administrator, and he can also do law, but he can't cancel the subscription unless they have subscription administrator role or the subscription owner role, right? So he cannot cancel the subscription. So account administrator doesn't have that permission, right? That permission lies with your service administrator. Okay, and this service administrator could be one per Azure subscription. And if you remember what we have talked, that for the different your subscription, we can have we can have multiple subscription, and each one of them can have one Azure service administrator who can manage services in the Azure portal, cancel the subscription and assign user the co-administrator role, right? So that will be the third role which is used in here, right? And you can define 200 co-administrator in a single, subscription, right? In a single subscription, there is going to be at max 200 co-administrator. And what your co-administrator is doing, so your co-administrator can go ahead and, it is having the same privileges as your service administrator, but it cannot change the association of the subscription with the active directory. Okay, so what is happening by default is at a time one active directory is trusting the one subscription, right? So that is the relationship between them. So that co-administrator cannot change the association of the subscription to the Azure directory. So this, okay, so this subscription is trusting one directory. So what I mean by this, that means, let's just say that Akhil go ahead and launch, want to launch a VM. Now when you will be launching a VM, it will be charged against, or built against a subscription. So this subscription need to know that whether or not Akhil is the part of the active directory. So this subscription at a time will be trusting only one directory, right? So this is going to be a relationship between this, right? So it will be checking with the active directory that whether or not Akhil is part of your active directory. So Akhil already have an account, it will be verified that yes, this is the user, so he can go ahead and launch a VM which will be built against this subscription. So this co-administrator cannot change that particular thing, right? And when we are talking about this same thing, right, that it is trusting one active directory at a moment. So maybe you have read this on the AG 900 or 104, that you can have the multiple different directories as well. So if I go to my home and the active directory part, so this is the, right now I'm inside the default directory, right? So this default directory is consisting multiple user. So what I can do, I can have multiple different tenants as well. So here I will be having the option, oops, right, so this is the here, okay, right, so few things has been changed inside the your, I actually the UI has changed for the your AD as well. So we are getting the different things. So previously I used to get that option over this place, right, to go ahead and creating a directory. Okay, there should be the option of the creating of the directory. So I think that is moved to this part. Yes, I was right. So here it is now moved to the this manage tenant part. So in the manage tenant, this is my default directory, right? You can read it here. Okay, its domain name is this, correct? Now I can create the multiple different directory as well. Okay, a different directory will be again recognized as the tenant over this place. So I can create another Azure Active Directory or Azure Active Directory B2C, right? So I'll be just choosing the Azure Active Directory here, simply going to the configuration, what is the name of the organization, what is going to be the initial domain name, right? So I'll be selecting that domain name, what will be the region, and simply going to review and create a particular directory over there, right? So I can have multiple directory as well on a single account. Now you will be thinking why we require multiple directory. So let me just give you the one example. Okay, let's just say that you are a very big organization. So I was giving you the example like McAfee has purchased your blue tick semantic purchase the blue code, right? And then when you go ahead and when you are popular, right? So the different organization, they just purchase you as well. So McAfee purchased the Sky High. Okay, I was just giving you this example in the very beginning. So that is happening. For example, here what is happening, that you are a very big organization. For example, you are the KPMG, for example, right? Now what you find out that for yourself you created a default directory, right? There is their default directory. So what directory contains? It contains the identities, right? In simple term, identity, groups, everything, right? All these things are contained by these particular things. So I will try to make the same thing. So there is your default directory. So I'm just calling it the DD1, right? Now you go ahead and purchase some third party. Let's just say that there was a startup, right? You purchase them. For them, what you will be doing, you will be creating a different directory, like your startup one. Then simply you just go ahead and you purchase the another startup as well, right? So let's just say that you are having another startup too. So what is happening? KPMG is kind of our parent and these are the child there. Now this was my default directory, all my users were here. Now what I want, the startup that I have gone ahead and acquired, I want to keep their identity completely different, right? Let's just say that okay, so I will be using you guys as the example. So I'm just using the same thing, like for example, Akil, Anas and Dawar, okay, they are working on the for the KPMG. Now Kashi, Madhu and Pranay, they were working for this startup. So their identity will be under inside this particular directory system. Then similarly, Tarpan, Vinay and your yeah, so Tarpan, Vinay, they were working for the startup too. So their identity will be under this particular section, right? So this is the scenario where you will be requiring, you could be requiring, that is again depending on your requirement. Okay, I am not going to define that you are specifically requiring this thing, but this is the kind of this scenario where you are having same thing. Now I was talking about the relationship between these directory and the different subscription, right? So I was having different subscription, HR, production, right? I was having the testing, right? These are my subscription, okay, and relationship between them and the development, right? Same, this startup can have the same multiple subscription as well. Now let's just say that it is only having the production, your testing and the development, right? And this startup is having your two subscription, your production and the test, right? So these are the scenario that you could be following. So when I was saying that at a single time, this particular subscription is going to trust your single tenant, okay, a single directory. So that what I mean. Okay, so this at a moment I can this particular subscription can trust only one directory. So that is one thing, right? So just that you don't get confused. So what are these? These are the your directory and these are your subscription, right? So this is the scenario where you will be requiring multiple tenants, you are requiring multiple directories as well. Okay, so this is the one of the reason that you will be requiring the different things, right? You will be requiring the different directories and all those kind of things. Okay, they will be having a relationship between them. Now on the directory level as well, we are going to have the different your permissions, right? So what are the few of the directory based permission? So if I just scroll all the way down, these are the Azure AD roles. So here you will be seeing that there are three basic Azure AD roles. So first is your global administrator. Okay, and when we are talking about the global administrator, this global administrator is going to have all the permissions that are there, okay, in the simple term, right? So this global administrator, what it can do, it can read and modify every administrative settings in your Azure AD organization, right? So by default, the person who sign up for the Azure subscription is going to assign this a global administrator role for the Azure AD organization, right? And these global administrator and the privileged role administration can delegate any can provide anyone the other administrator role, right? So as you can see here that it can manage all and access all administrative feature in the Azure Active Directory, as well as service that feature federate to Azure Active Directory. Means this user can do anything, creation of the user and all those kind of thing, setting up the password, everything. Then assign administrator role to the others. Okay, it can assign the administrator role to the others. Plus it can reset the password for any user and all other administrator as well, right? So this is the one thing. Okay, and the same thing, the person who sign up for the Azure Active Directory tenant, that become a global administrator. And one more thing guys, Azure is suggesting that at a time you cannot have more than 5 uh, global administrator. Okay, keep this thing in mind that you can't have more than 5, so keep the number less than 5. Okay, so number of global admin, right? So try to keep it less than or equals to 5. Okay, so go with this thing, right? This is from the security perspective, this is one of the suggestion from the your Azure send. Now when we are talking about the user administrator, okay, so this global administrator can make any other user administrator. So what he can do, he can also create and manage all aspect of the user and group, right? Means he can create user, delete user, assign password and all those kind of things. Now manage the support ticket. With that, managing the service health, change password for user, help desk administrator and other user administrator as well, right? So rather than giving someone the global administrator permission, you can just go give him the user administrator permission as well. Okay, then there is going to be your billing administrator, right? And guys, I will be maybe I will be taking few minutes extra in today's session because I want to show you how to assign these permission practically. Okay, only after that we will be ending today's session, right? So and I hope you guys can sit for a few extra minutes, right? Anyone who is having any problem apart from the Vinay, right? Vinay is having all the right because it is quite late for him. So it will be, I think, around 3 for him. So he can complain me that Rishabh, you are taking the bit extra time. Apart from that, anyone else? Okay. So as I was saying that, maximum you can have 5 administrators, those kind of thing. Now, this is the billing administrator that I was talking about. So what it can do, it can make purchase, manage subscription, manage support ticket, and the monitor the service health. So these are the 3 rules that are in there when we are talking from the point perspective of the Azure AD, right? So these are the 3 rules, and I am just dropping this link to you guys as well. So if you want to read about this, you can just always give it a read, right? These are the on the 2 levels. So what we have seen up to now, we have seen the subscription and Azure AD. Now third is on the level of your resource and the resource group. So for the third thing, if you will see that these are some of the Azure roles. So there are these are the main roles on the resource thing, right? So on the resources, I can have the permission on the resource level. I can have permission as the owner, contributor, reader, and user access administrator. So if I am having the owner role, so owner is having full access of the all resource, and he can grant permission to another other users as well, delegate access to other. Okay, let's just say for example Tarpan was the owner. Okay, so he can decide that simply another role like Vinay can have a contributor role. Tarpan can decide that Akhil can have reader role. Okay, these kind of thing you can do here, right? So he can give permission to other user as well. Now when you are contributor, you can create and manage all type of resource. Means if you want to create a storage account, you want to create a web app, whatever you want to do, or manage them, scale them, so you are allowed to do that. With that, you can create a new tenant in the Azure Active Directory. So when you have the contributor role, you can create a new tenant in the Azure Active Directory, but you cannot grant any access to other, right? So this is your limitation. Then there is going to be the reader role. When you have the reader role, so you can only view, I can see that there is a VM, it is running, but I cannot change the state of this VM. If I want to stop that machine, I'm not able to do that kind of thing. So that is the reader permission. Then fourth important one is your user access administrator. So this, when we are talking about this user access administrator, so the role here, or the thing here is going to be that it can manage user access to Azure resource. Means, if someone has this user access administrator role, so if I assign this role to the your for example Manju, right? So what he can do is he can just go ahead and grant some other people the permission, like giving someone the role of the VM contributor, okay, giving someone the role of your VM reader, right? So that kind of thing he can do, who has the permission of the user access administrator, right? So these are the three different roles and permission. Now how to assign these roles and all that kind of thing, so we'll be seeing that as well, because this is again quite important point, right? So we talked about all these permissions, that what kind of permissions are these. Now let's just go back, and I would like to start with this account, which was for the Akhil, right? So Akhil is unable to see anything. So what if I go ahead, okay, on the home, and on this test resource group, if I go to this test resource group, there is going to be this VM, right? Okay, so if on this VM, okay, this is the VM, okay, so on the left hand side you are seeing this IAM part, right? Identity and access management. I will be going to this particular part. Now what is going to happen in this particular part is that uh, I can add a role, right? I'm having this option, add role assignment, okay, here as well, right? So if you see the roles, what are the overall roles? So roles, you will be seeing there are hundred of multiple inbuilt role that you can choose from, right? So even in this part, if you will see, and what are the roles, if you guys have the idea, right? If you have studied it on the your AZ 900 and fundamentals, all the resources that you are creating, I am on this VM1, right? So what is this virtual machine? This is nothing but a JSON format. So if I go to this part, export template, right? So I can see the template of this machine. So this machine is launched as a your JSON file, this complete thing, right? This is nothing but a JSON based file, right? So even in the overview, if you want to just check, you can take a JSON view here as well. So this is complete JSON view, right? This is my VM which I have created, and this is the JSON file for this particular one, right? So this is something that what we are having, right? So any resource is just a JSON based file. Similarly, these role, if I click on this owner role, so what is this role? This is nothing but your JSON based file again. So this is your assignable scope, the description of it, the ID, right? The name, the permission, what are the permission that is allowed, okay, action, what kind of action it can take, not action, does this have permission on the data, means even though you are having the permission, but do you have permission to deal with the data, like if you are having the storage account, so there you will be having the data actions, like can you read the data, can you write the data, that kind of thing, right? Not data action, okay. Role name, role type, okay, nothing but roles are your JSON based file. So when we will be moving forward towards the third week, when we will be talking about the security center, there will be one thing, just in time access. So to enable the just in time access, we need to create a custom role, right? So this is the, all these are inbuilt role. This is the owner role, this is the reader role, right? So reader can only read anything, right? User access role, so what he can do, action, he can read, he can, you know, authorize anyone, he can, you know, do the support, Microsoft support and all that kind of thing, right? So roles are again nothing but the JSON based file, right? So on this part, let's just go on this VM, go to the your identity and access management. I will be clicking on, either you can go on the role assignment and check what are the role assigned to, you know, on this particular machine, but nothing here. Now let me just click on this add and click on add role assignment. So let me select a role of your contributor, okay, for whom, for Akhil, right? I have selected the Akhil here, click on save, and I'm just assigning this role. Now this role can take 3 to 4 minutes to implement and, you know, reflect back onto the Akhil's account, right? So I have to wait for the 3 or 4 minutes. So if I will refresh this page, I can see that on this VM I am only having access on this VM only, right? So if I will be seeing the IAM part under the role assignment, I can see that Akhil Suresh is having the permission as the, what is the role? Contributor role, means he can go ahead and stop the machine, VM and all those kind of thing, right? So this is happening. And if I will be jumping into the Akhil's account and again try to find the all resources, you know, I'm not going to able to see this because it will take few minutes to reflect those changes onto the Akhil's account, right? Like if we will be trying to go to the VM, so still nothing here. So in the meantime, what I can do, I remember I just give the Akhil the permissions of the, you know, assign the license as well. So for that license to take effect, so what I will be doing, again I will be logging in one more time with the Akhil's password. So doing this thing, right? Escape for now, stay signed in. Yes, I want to be signed in. Okay, so this is the one thing that is happening. Okay, so again let's just wait, still. Okay, now that rule has taken effect. So as I was saying that it can take from 2 to 5 minutes. So now I can see in the all resources, this there is the VM. I'm only able to see the VM. So even if I click on all resources, I'm just seeing the only VM, nothing else. I'm not seeing its, you know, disk. I'm not seeing its IP address, nothing, right? So if you remember when I showed you that, you know, few other resources also launched with this VM. Now if let's just say that, you know, Akhil want to stop this machine, so he can just go ahead and stop this machine itself, right? Because Akhil is the contributor and he has permission to start or stop this machine, right? Now this is the one rule. Now let's just say that I want to delete this role. So what you need to do, just select that role. Okay, I'm inside that VM in IAM part on role assignment, select this one and remove this role. Okay, so we are removing this thing, this role from here. Okay, now this role has been removed. Okay, one thing is done at this point. Now let's just go back to your resource group, right? So on the resource group level as well, I can see that there is the IAM part, identity and access management. So if I will be assigning a role, so what is going to happen is that, let me just select the only, you know, reader role. Okay, only reader role, and again assign it to the Akhil Suresh. I'm going ahead and saving this role now. Now one thing that you will be noticing here is now this role is being assigned and I assign this. Okay, everyone keep this thing in mind that I assign this role at the resource group level, right? So on the resource group level, if I just want to go ahead and refresh this assignment so I can see. Okay, so I'm where I am right now. I'm the resource group. So Akhil is having a reader role. right? Now let's just go to the overview of this resource group. There are multiple different resources. Let's just open all of them on the different few of them on the different tabs, right? So let's just start with this VM part, right? So this is my VM. So if you remember, I removed that contributor role, right? So if I will be going to the IAM part and inside this role assignment, so what you will be seeing, you will be seeing that this is the, Akhil has been provided or granted the reader role on the VM. And if you will read this point here, this point, resource group inherited. So what it is saying that this reader role is assigned to Akhil at the resource group level. And because that resource group, that test resource group is having different resources, resource 1, 2, 3. Okay, there was the 5 resources like VM, IP address, VNet, NSG, network interface card. So all of them are inheriting that role as well. So when you apply the role at the resource group level, so it will be automatically inherited by the your all the resources. Similarly, if you are providing the you know roles at the subscription level, so all the resources, resource group that are inside that particular architecture, they are going to inherit all the roles, right? So that is something from the, if you guys are familiar with the fundamentals, you will be understanding that we have different things like management group. Okay, we are having the your subscription. So if at those level I am applying the rules, they are going to be inherited by all the resources inside them. Okay, so like this is my VNet, right? Again, on this VNet, if you will check, because this is part of the same resource group, role assignment. Okay, Akhil Suresh, reader, resource group inherited, IP address. Okay, you will check this part, role assignments. Okay, sorry, role assignment. You will be seeing here that Akhil Suresh reader, right? Same goes for your NSG as well. Okay, NSG, tomorrow we will be seeing the NSG network security group, application security group. We'll be seeing the application gateway, web application firewall, and all those features tomorrow. Okay, so here we'll be seeing the again role assignment of the reader here. Now, what has happened if I just go back to the Akhil's account, right? So this was this account, right? So when he was the your, let me just go to the home, and when Akhil was the owner, so what he can do, he can start and stop this VM, right? Now I have given him the permission on the level of the resource group, and if now I will be clicking on this all resource, right now I can see all the resources. I can see VNets, virtual machine, public address, everything, right? And if I will be selecting any one of them, let me just select this VM. Okay, and let me just go ahead and try to start this one. So what I am getting, I am getting an error which is saying you failed to start the virtual machine. And why I am failed? Because
User
why I'm
can't
failed? Yeah, I'm only having the reader permission. I can only read this thing, nothing else. Right? So what is this? This is the RBAC, rule-based access control we are doing, right? So I can assign it to the, as you were seeing that I can assign it to user, to group, to application, all these kind of things. I can assign these specific rule, right? So based on that, again, we can just go ahead and create the, different things, right? So that is the one thing regarding that, how you are creating the rules and all that kind of thing. Now, this is the one thing I think everyone understand this point, right? And everyone is having the, your Azure portal account. So task for tomorrow for everyone is, okay, when we'll be resuming the tomorrow session, I want each and every one of you to go ahead and create an account for me, right, for the Rishabh Kotial. So all of you should be, if you create it early, send me on the WhatsApp group, okay, personally as well, right? that this is my username and password. So I will be checking that, how many of you have done this thing, right? Or you guys can send me on the my email address. This is my email address. As you can see, you can send my username and password. So for all of you, your task will be go ahead and give me the owner role, create an account for me and give me the owner role, right? I think everyone can do this. Anyone who is confused still can ask me the questions.
So sorry, what needs to be done? What is the exercise? Can you repeat, please?
Okay, you need to give me the contributor access. Okay, so one thing is you have to create an account for me, create a user in your active directories with the name Rishabh. Okay, and give me the access of a role of the owner. Okay, this is one thing that you guys need to do as a task, right? So before we start yesterday tomorrow's session, you guys will be creating this account for me. Send me my username and password. I will be checking each and everyone's account. So I think everyone got their passes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Rishabh, is it possible to send this recording by tomorrow morning? Because actually, if we can go through the recording and practice, it will be easy.
Okay, for that I have to ask the operation team, because as I
Yeah,
was
but your
saying that,
operation team doesn't work on a weekend, remember? So we
yeah.
have had this issue in the past as well. So that's why I'm
Hmm.
requesting if you can share it tomorrow early morning India time, then it will be easy for all of us to go through while we practice this.
Okay, sure, I will try to
Thank
look
you.
for into that thing.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, right, so this is the one thing, right? So we talk about this thing, all these features, facilities of the assigning the role. Still few things are left, like tomorrow what we'll be doing, I will be showing you that on the particular active directory, how to create a dynamic group. I think the guys who have done the 104, you will be familiar that how to create a dynamic group, assign a dynamic group, right? So that what we will be doing tomorrow itself. Okay. Okay, I think I need to be sign out one more time, and then just define the membership type here. Okay, that is something that what we are going to do for tomorrow. Okay, dynamic group we'll be creating. And yeah, I think almost on the R back you got the bit of the idea that what is needed to done. And after that we will be jumping into the parameter security, because that thing is very huge. Okay, lot of concepts are in there, and for that I am just going to again yeah, having the idea that you guys are understanding that what is the web application, how to launch a web app, right? How to publish a web app and all that kind of thing. Because if I will be jumping into those basics, it is going to take the lot of time, right? So we'll be directly launching the solutions on the AZ500 there. Okay, so if you have any questions you can ask me, and I'm just trying to remember that if I missed anything which I can cover today. So yeah, I think I already take 15-minute extra for today.
Should we also be doing the P2 like the Premier subscriptions? And because I don't think we can avoid it. We have to do it in order to practice, right?
Yes,
Okay.
specifically it will be very handy when we'll be learning more things like PIM, identity governance, conditional access. At that time, that privilege, premium P2 license will become in handy.
Rishabh,
Okay,
the tomorrow's exercise will be able to perform without a premium license.
Yes, tomorrow's task you can perform without the premium P2 license, because tomorrow we'll be jumping into the your platform protection thing. Okay, although you can't do the dynamic group membership without the premium P2 license, so if you want to just skip that for now, you can just skip that for now. Okay. Okay, I think today we have actually, taken bit of the time on the very basics, where we were simply discussing about the things like, what is a CASB, CIA, firewalls, and the few of the cloud assessment tools. So there we have actually taken the bit of the time, right? And yes, from tomorrow we'll be moving more towards the hands-on thing. Still, we have done few of the hands-on today as well, but from tomorrow it will be becoming more and more, aggressive. Okay, and one more thing, have you guys joined the WhatsApp group? Right, be sure that all of you are the part of that. Okay, fine. So I'm going to stop the recording now.